National radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program. Thank God for another beautiful day. Hopefully it'll be a beautiful show, and Montgomery needs a new mayor. Troy Carrico here on this Friday edition of the program. And we have coming up Hampton Harris.
Yes, at 1400 at 2 o'clock, he will be joining us live.
See, I'm still not good. I live with my grandfather, and he does military time, but I was like, 1 o'clock? 1400?
Yeah,
No. You just add from 12, Joe.
That's all you do.
You just add from 12. It's not that difficult. But I look forward to seeing Hampton. Of course, there's so many things we could begin with today.
Yes.
But first, I want to start with something that's very important.
Okay.
I saw there's a controversy in the world of sports ball.
Yeah.
And it has to do with the basketball, and it has to do with league I didn't know people watched.
WNBA.
The WNBA. And it has to do with this woman who apparently is named Sophie Cunningham. She's the one who points at people.
She does.
That's what she's known for. Not her jump shot. She's known at pointing at people and
Calling
putting
them out.
and she's an enforcer
She is.
to protect Caitlin Clark. So
She
that's what she's known for. This
is
is
tough.
it's almost like the WNBA is a bit catty. Now, don't get me wrong, the NBA has gotten a bit catty too. So maybe they should just merge leagues and it'll be great. But I saw this like controversy in the Women's National Basketball Association.
Yes.
There were Sophie Cunningham fans there to show support for Sophie.
That's right.
And they were in support of Sophie's stance that you shouldn't have trans athletes in the WNBA.
That's right.
You shouldn't have men in the WNBA. And the co-owner of it was, I guess, the Seattle team, which no surprise there.
Right.
Whoa, man.
In name.
They were yelling obscene things at these young, beautiful girls
16.
supporting women in women's sports.
16 years old, two of them.
But my main takeaway from this is stop watching the WNBA. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of everybody's time. That's my main point.
How many more dildos will need to be thrown onto the floor?
Yeah, I think.
How many Daytonians?
If
will
you
have
want to
drive
do
there?
that, I'm not going to stop you, but you probably will be arrested,
You will be.
and I won't defend you
You
in
will be.
court.
But I
Yeah.
think the takeaway that as we were sitting here preparing for the show, and I was just taking in some final stuff, the words that were used with invoking Jesus Christ and terrible things said by this co-owner to two beautiful 16-year-olds that were there. You know what they said? We're there to support Sophie. Not to make a political statement, just to support her. And trash, man. That's Seattle. What do you expect?
But then this is like, I had a whole conversation before Jeff Poore went on his vacation. His vacation, by the way, folks, brilliant. He's doing this tour of baseball stadiums.
parks,
Actually touching some grass, going out there, taking his young son across the country, real America, to see some of America's pastime, baseball. But I was talking to Jeff about what happened to sports. And I want to start there with you. Like, because I do remember an era when Sports Center was like must-see TV. But now it started to get where it was on all the time. That was the first change I noticed. It wasn't like, oh, it's on in the afternoon.
Right.
It's now everything is Sports Center. All the stuff is Sports Center. And then I also, remember, and the one that's going strong still is Pardon the Interruption.
Yeah, Stephen.
And you could say, well, they become more liberal. And I'm like, no, they've always been liberal. Like, they've been that way for a long time. But I think what's happened is it's become less about sports.
Yes.
And more about not just politics, but the human interest side of it.
It is. And I think, remember where they were headquartered out of? Bridgeport, Connecticut. They've always been an East Coast kind of lib organization. Then when Disney bought them, it really went.
Oh, yeah.
And so you got to remember that. But I think you're right. I think what they did is they had this great canned product called Sports Center. Everybody loved it. They had a lot of humor to it. And then I think they tried to export that into all aspects of their brand, and I think they've diluted it a great deal, like you said. But now it's human interest stories. Now it's political. There are political statements
political
being made,
stuff too.
A lot.
But that's the main thing that's driving the WNBA. Yeah. It's not the actual game of basketball.
It's not the athleticism. No.
It is the cat fights. That's what it is. It's the cat fights.
It is,
and it's a shame that that's what's keeping that league afloat, because it should sink. That's what I'm just saying. And they've really tried. The big corporate push from the types like Disney and ESPN, the big corporate push of, okay, Caitlin Clark is going to be the Tiger Woods of women's basketball. And it's like, nope, not at all. And another aspect of this is and it's true of sports and in other industries, but there's really a media golden era of sport to where we still to this day ask, who's the next Michael Jordan? It's like, I'm sorry, I don't care how many rings somebody gets in the NBA, you're never going to be Michael Jordan and the Bulls in the 90s.
No, that was a pretty impressive
And it's
team.
more than, and I am saying something more than just about basketball. Like, that's a great argument to have about LeBron and Kobe and so many others. But I don't think you're going to have that sort of stardom, that sort of everybody's watching the same screen. And this is true of sports, it's true of movies, it's true of television. Right. The society has become shattered. And even like the president of the United States is not carried by major networks.
Yeah, crazy.
So I think what that creates is you get somebody who has millions of followers, but not tens or hundreds of millions of followers.
Right.
You see it in the music industry, same way.
Sure.
You see it where people aren't going to the movie theater anymore. And you can watch whatever rabbit hole you want to go down at home. And so I think you're seeing that hangover in sports where there are great players, don't get me wrong, really incredible players. And that's the great thing about sports. You'll always see that up and coming new generation and that person make their mark and make their name. But I think actually that something is taken away from that when they're constantly compared to the legend of the past.
Well, and I think let's just back up for a minute and let's look at it from this perspective. The inflation of value of players and the money that's being exchanged and the way it is happening with the political statements like the NFL taking a knee, not respecting that, people started checking out. And listen, so then they go, well, where do we go to if we're not going to follow NFL, if we're not going to follow the NBA because it's a bunch of thugs with guns in nightclubs? If the WNBA, come on, it's a political statement. We go to college athletics? No. Same thing's going on in college athletics. The dollar is starting to be the driver. So I think, and I was doing a brief dive on this because I may write on it, the numbers for the World Cup were off the charts, not just because it was in America, but the tune-in America was buy-in, and maybe people are looking for more amateur stories like the hockey miracle.
And let's not kid ourselves. College football, not European football.
Yeah.
College football and NFL football, they still make ridiculous amounts of money. There's great attendance in a lot of the big teams, but it's not what it used to be.
That's
because
of
the points.
Yeah. And a lot of people that I know that were season ticket holders to Auburn, to Ohio State, they said, I just don't get excited about it anymore. It's just things change so much. We don't know if we could even keep the guys we signed that year. And it's kind of it's semi-pro now. It is pro, actually. So.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see also if like certain traditions hold on, because I almost feel like the college football, like just sticking to Auburn and like Alabama, the whole tailgate culture. Yeah. I wonder how much that's changed, say, over the last 20, 30 years and how long that keeps going, because it seems like that really got big. Yeah. Like there are all these glory day stories from the 80s and 90s. And people have been just taking it to a different level with the, the spread and the
RVs.
equipment and the RVs, and the technology and stuff. And, you hope something like that. I'm not wishing that goes away, but you got to wonder, our culture's going in a strange direction.
It is.
At this point. How long do some of these customs, even stuff that are not that traditional, like it's a tradition started 100 years ago. It's a tradition started 50 years ago.
Right.
How long will that thing last? Because you got to think, like, people thought rock and roll would live forever. And come on, there's still some great guitar players and some great rock musicians, but it ain't what it used to
Very
be.
digital now. Yeah.
And I think there are folks who thought hip hop would last forever. And actually, I think there's a change. There's kind of a backlash.
There is.
Across the board. So I don't know. It's fat. And here's another thing that's been on my mind. And I hate to say this, but like that Elvis movie they did.
Yeah.
Where what's his manager's name? Evil human being.
Oh,
Evil
Colonel. Yeah, the Colonel. Yeah, yeah.
Evil SOB. But in the Elvis movie, they always point to somebody in a Ku Klux Klan outfit who's like, "That's the devil's music." Now, I'm talking about Elvis.
Yeah.
Or like how it was a big scandal when Elvis was shaking his hips, gyrating.
Pelvis,
Yeah.
Pelvis.
Now, don't get me wrong. Elvis is a true generational talent.
Yes,
That's another guy you don't try to compare.
No.
Because even when you see him all pilled up and fat,
He was great.
and he's singing Unchained Melody,
Oh, man.
like, it's remarkable.
And he had that dragon. He had the tiger on his back. And
Yeah.
he was doing the kung fu stuff.
But here's the thing.
Love it.
I love how the liberal boomers have said everything that was criticized, everybody who criticized was just like the biggest flaming racist, backwards, moron, all this stuff. And I'm like, well, wait. What if it's just like a average guy who's watching that, who has kids, and he's watching the Ed Sullivan Show, and he goes, no, this is wrong. The reason this guy's getting attention is because he is sexual, because he is dynamic, and he is selling a lifestyle that very few will actually ever get the chance to live and pursue, even if thousands pursue it. How many end up in the gutter or in the porn industry in Hollywood or literally on Skid Row and never become the big movie star? But that culture started dominating because we're a free country. But I think the person saying that maybe is the devil's music had a point, because just look at where Elvis's life went. Look at the effect of that fame and fortune. Look at the fruits of what came of that.
He was a prisoner to it. Yeah.
And for all the good times we have with the rock and roll and all sorts of other stuff, which has shaped me deeply.
Yep.
I look at it now and I go, well, it's one thing to enjoy it, but then it's another thing to say that this will last forever. The other thing, say, like, I get my meaning from, like, the music, man. I get my meaning from the college football Saturday tailgate, man.
Might need to seek a deeper
I get my meaning from going to the WNBA. No,
go to church.
That's when you know that's a hat on a hat. It's not. It's played out. But I don't know. I'm on this kick where I'm seeing so much of the culture I took for granted.
Right.
And people older than me took for granted. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, maybe it's a good thing we're going through this mass disruption, but I don't want to burn it all down. I want to keep the good that was developed and keep some traditions going, whereas some stuff, maybe the critics that were silenced for a long time actually had a point about some of the excesses.
Sure. I think that it's bread and circus to a degree. And I think two things. One, John Lennon said there was nothing before Elvis. That's one of his statements. And then you talk about the Ed Sullivan Show. I couldn't help but think about when Jim Morrison of the Doors was on the show, and they're in the dressing room, and the prep guy comes in and he goes, "Hey, we've been going over your lyrics. We can't say higher, so it's come on, baby. Couldn't get much higher." He goes, right. "How about we said, hey, babe, we couldn't get much better." Yeah. And Jim Morrison goes, "How about come on, baby, bite my wire." Love him.
No, but all these folks I love.
Sure.
But you look at the fruits of that.
But is it
good that we had that, you die at 27, you become a legend, man? Like, is that, take a step back, put the bong down, and think how sad that is.
you know what?
And how worldly that is.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I think you and I both can agree that you should seek your meaning from something deeper.
Right.
Jesus Christ. So yeah, you see that. But you know how old are you now, Joey?
I'll be 38.
So you're at the point where you're starting to figure things out.
Yeah, and
when you're young, you know.
I'm also aware that there's always been the liberal disposition and the conservative disposition.
Yep.
I definitely, as I've gotten older, but I've always, I think, had a bit of as much as I have a liberal heart in terms of the arts and being open to a lot of different people and stuff. I have always had this sort of conservative disposition in the sense of the world doesn't seem like it should be. Like something's broken about the world. Something's a little off. Something's lost. Like this is a refrain you often hear. And I mean, you hear throughout the Western world. So it's not like this is all of a sudden new. This has been the case of human history and especially Western history for a long time. This sort of lament that we ain't what we used to be, and men used to be able to pull boulders up by a single hand. You remember the strength of Ajax, his son, or nothing. What are we compared to these legends and these men? So there's always that aspect of it. But there's also, I think for too long in this country, we've had the more liberal side, the sort of worship of novelty and the new.
Materialism
and almost falling in love with the chaos, like making a romance out of the chaos. Like, man, life ended up with a completely tragic car crash of an ending, but man, wasn't it fun? Like as we were going about it, man.
That was awesome, man.
And it just, I don't know. It doesn't seem like that's how it has to be. And of course, I look at the younger generation coming up, people younger than me, and you see some of the trends.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, that's also very worldly. Also very worldly, like the whole looks maxing thing.
Yeah.
Or like the transgender stuff. Or, I don't know, pick your fad. There's, I think, a lot of stuff, including stuff maybe I engaged in. I'm going to look back and go, my goodness.
Yeah, well, you know, I think you're, I like my son, I think you're an old spirit. I think you have a spirit about you that it transcends, I think, the time you were there. You are very tied into what you believe to be true, and that's rare for people. And I would argue that this world is, people live in it and of it. And that could you imagine, Joey, if you woke up every day and this was all there was? If you didn't think there was a greater eternity.
Oh, I woke up many mornings.
I know that, but I think you never really lost that seed in you. I think it was there.
I think you're right. There, that seed, that light, that fire, that protection.
You came back to it.
Yeah, it was never fully gone. I tried my best
to extinguish it.
Yeah, I tried my best.
Drowned it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Very much Bukowski with the bluebird in his heart.
Yeah. But don't be sad. I know you're in there.
I tried, and I don't know. I'm reconsidering everything, letting it.
That's good.
The new rhythms of life I've found. Allow it to reconsider and reorganize everything. And I know it doesn't mean you just get rid of everything because you're going to lose a lot of good stuff. But when you start to see that God is the ultimate good itself, that we all come from him and return back to him, and anything that is good here on earth is, some things may be better or worse, and it's all better for having everything together, the worse and the better, all together in one scheme of God. But it's when you start clinging to that particular thing.
Yeah.
As like, you know, I'll put it this way. Like when I'm feeling real down and out as a teenager, it's not God I turn to. Right. So I'm going to church and
I got you.
All this stuff. It was more like, it was music. I had this vivid memory of, I'm sure there's some boomer dads out there that still have this on their shelf and occasionally break out some whiskey and watch it. They literally get the lead out. It was that DVD release of Led Zeppelin.
Yep.
And like they're playing at multiple different locations, but it's the Madison Square Garden show. And it's the beginning of Since I've Been Loving You, where it's like Jimmy Page, like just shredding in a nasty way. He was never the most technically proficient guitarist, but he's just shredding up and down the neck. Then him and Plant do this call and response throughout the song. That's just remarkable. And I was transfixed. And I'm like, okay, I want to be able to do that. Now, was I ever able to get quite there? No. But, I want to learn the guitar. What is this magic that is here before me?
Shaman with
That is like, taking me out of my my blues.
Your funks, yeah.
And it continued. It's like continue to find the music that sort of sings to you and gives you that hope, or at least that escape. But again, I go back to Jimmy Page was a little into the occult, wasn't he?
There was a lot of musicians, I think, that straddle that.
This is why I'm like, maybe some of those folks are like, that's the devil's music. Now, if you play it backwards, young man, it's like, okay. It's like, okay, whatever. But like, could there be that some of these people that we have hailed on high, or who allow, because we're naive, especially younger people, that allow them to form us, like we want to get on the same thing they're on. Like as you start to shed the worldly stuff and you look back, you're like, I still love that guitar solo that Page did in that moment. But I now see it as so small compared to other things in this world.
Now that you brought this up, I'm thinking, my God, what has become of me? I'm a Kiss fan, demon, and spitting up blood. And I got Ace Frehley. I got Peter Criss poster. Hotter than hell. I love Kiss, man.
Like oranges and vodka. Yeah, and it's like, you look back, it's fun, and this is America. Like, I'm not trying to take away the fun, but I just sometimes think we are so wealthy, and like we have so many privileges from the generations before us who did not get to live this way.
I think you're right. And I think what's interesting today is if we look at the younger generations, some of the music is very, very digitalized. It's almost synthesized out of a machine.
Yeah.
And to me, that tells me that's where we have progressed, but maybe regressed in our growth. So,
well, this is all lead up to, there's a story at Axios.
Okay.
The way your work shows up in a digital dominated world is changing at lightning fast pace, starting with the total collapse of Google search traffic. Number one, you got to think about Google's bottom line. But
that's right.
Google has basically stopped sending people to websites, including this site, Axios, for answers and information. Instead, it's using AI to answer them on its platform, in its words. Chartbeat data shared with Axios shows Google search traffic to publishers fell 34% over the last year.
Wow.
Ooh. That pain is regressive. Over the past 2 years, small publishers lost 60% of referrals.
Wow.
From search overall. Medium publishers, 47%, and large publishers, 22%.
Man.
This is a gut punch to all of us who operate online because people who search arrive with specific needs and intent, so they tend to be more valuable than a random passerby from X or Facebook. At the same time, LinkedIn, Reddit, and other massive platforms are getting jammed with AI-created content, making it harder to stand out or decipher real from fake. To that end, Substack announced a partnership last week with AI detection software Pangram, specifically calling out LinkedIn while arguing that platforms that reward fakeness will create a race to the bottom.
Yeah.
So any smart person who primarily does business online is already anticipating the shift to an LLM ChatGPT-like world. It starts with GEO, the term for shaping how content shows up inside LLMs like Claude and ChatGPT. This is the modern version of search engine optimization. It's early, and it's a black box, but there's no time to waste. The theory is all of us will need to rethink and reformat our content to meet human and AI needs. Turns out, the smart brevity format, most important point first, context second, information stacked in order of importance, often in bullet form, works wonders with AI. In fact, if you read Axios, that's exactly how they splay out most of their stories.
Well, what's funny is it's not just Google, it's Bing. They use their AI Copilot to answer everything. It's there is an intermediary before you get to any of the sites. So that's a big deal. Yeah.
So like the Axios is being straight up. We're trying to figure out how to show up inside LLMs now.
Right.
Like a Grok or a ChatGPT or a Claude.
Right.
And improve that standing, offset reliance on search and open web, connect with audiences in a post-open web world. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. The web's becoming more and more closed, especially if you think about the heady days of netizens, and the internet will set us free because of the free flow of information. And in the 90s, I remember as a kid, you can find anything, man. Now, if you still really look, you can find a lot on the internet still.
Yeah.
But like it was just like all over the place. Now it was slower and low tech compared to what we have now. But everybody seems to have been siloed into the social media stuff. That's where most of your interaction is.
I think that's by design.
Yep. And now what's about to happen, because it's one thing if you're a creator or if you do in creative endeavors or you write an information. But if you are just a consumer, what I think's about to happen is like you just go, everything is AI. And if that's the way the digital world is going, I think we hopefully might see a revenge of the analog.
That would be great.
Like read old books, starting with the Bible, and do it every day as much as you can stand it. I don't know. So attention, that's another problem with this age we're in. Attention spans have just gone out the window.
It's terrible.
And I've noticed, like, even with the phone face down, like it'll buzz, it will grab your attention when you're, trying to read the book of Deuteronomy or something. That's tough enough without that thing
Silence,
buzzing.
I think. Silence.
And so it's better leave it in the other room, leave it in the car.
Yes.
And I think people can respond to this in ways that are still very real. It's like we started this whole long segment talking about Jeff Poor and sports and stuff. Like what he's doing, taking his kid, like that is brilliant.
It is.
And I think there's a lot of folks that don't need to be told how to do that. They just need to do it. Like,
agreed.
Get off the internet as we know it, unless you have a very strict way of going about it. Because if it's controlling you, I think it's just good. Just eliminate that for a time and go listen to an old song you hadn't heard in a while. Or better yet, pray to God.
That's right. Read the Bible.
Anyway, I don't know. I'm all over the place. I'm trying to just
I think
feel my way out.
No, I think what you're doing is you're accurately capturing the malaise, I think, that we have in society today. It's just, is more better? Is more really better? And I don't know. I think you're right about one thing. I think the AI, the more it's shoved into your face and the more it synthesizes everything you request, people are going to start seeking an alternate route out of there.
Right.
So,
but of course, it's very useful too.
It is. It's very useful.
Because you can make, stupid, silly crap like this. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Joey Clark.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Trust is the number one reason why a patient chooses a healthcare provider. Adams Drugs has been your trusted healthcare provider since 1962 and has been voted the number one pharmacy in the River region for many years. We strive each and every day to provide you the level of healthcare you have come to expect from Adams Drugs. The employees at Adams Drugs take pride in developing relationships with their patients, from making sure your prescriptions are filled correctly to getting to know you and your family's needs and following up on any questions you may have. Adams Drugs employees deliver top-notch service. We ask you to visit us at any of our locations in Montgomery, Prattville, Wetumpka, Millbrook, and Pine Level Marbury and give us a chance to earn your business. You can find us at adamsdrugs.net for the location that is nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local, independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Lunch should be comforting and done right. At Epicure and Jack's Tavern, their meat and three is scratch made to order, not scooped from a steam table. Real cooking, real portions. And for guests 60 and over, it's just $10.99. It's familiar food, elevated, served with care. Lunch at Epicure and Jack's Tavern. Classic Southern comfort, a step above the rest.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Strong earnings reports from American tech giants, including Apple, have sent overseas stock markets soaring, and Wall Street opened higher this morning. Strong iPhone and MacBook computer sales boosted Apple's results beyond Wall Street's expectations. Amazon plans to boost spending on tech, mostly AI, by an additional 10%. This after the tech and e-commerce giant delivered strong profits and net sales during the fiscal second quarter, helped by surging growth in its prominent cloud computing unit. Amazon reported net income of $62.65 billion, or $5.75 per share, in the three-month period ending June 30th. Anthropic says its AI models hacked into 3 organizations during testing. This comes just days after OpenAI said its AI models went rogue and hacked into another company. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, where right now, get a load of this, listen close, you get a house full of carpet for $19.95 installed. Unbelievable. They're located at 6450 Atlanta Highway, just across from Walmart.
On this last day of July, it should be a fairly routine summertime forecast for today, with a high temperature in the middle 90s, triple digits on the heat index, scattered, random, mostly afternoon and evening showers and storms, and a low tonight in the low to mid 70s. But over the weekend, the rain probabilities are much higher as a front approaches, scattered to numerous showers and storms, locally heavy downpours. Be flexible with your plans. High temperatures both Saturday and Sunday in the lower 90s and lows at night in the lower 70s. Some of the storms could be on the strong side, and our weather app will keep you on top of the action. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
When the heat hits to the river region, don't wait. If your AC quits, Hands Heating and Air offers same-day service, or your diagnostic charge is free with their Comfort a Day or You Don't Pay guarantee, plus 24/7 service with no overtime charges.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
So Sheila just called and said there is a big bad wreck in front of the Millbrook Walmart.
Ooh.
And it's backing up traffic on 14 all the way to the interstate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Be wary. Be wary.
So that's no fun. That's no fun at all. Now, Anthropic.
Yeah.
Because this week, sticking on this technology wave.
Okay.
This week, starting last week, ChatGPT testing out some of the new agents.
Yep.
It snuck out of its sandbox.
Yeah, it's hacked into some systems, I heard.
Yeah, well, and initially it was said, well, I got into another one and we saw it doing it and we're able to stop it, and it's no more sophisticated than a regular hacker. It's like, well, actually, no, that's not true. It isn't more sophisticated, other than it's much faster than a human hacker.
That's right.
And it wasn't just like one or two things. It did 17,600 instances of hacking.
Wow.
In order to achieve certain goals. So it was going all over the place.
It was really
to achieve its goals. And so much bigger deal than initially kind of soft pedaled out there. But Anthropic now, there's OpenAI, and then one of the main competitors, Anthropic, said Thursday that its AI model, Claude, hacked into the systems of 3 companies during testing after a configuration error gave it internet access. This is days after rival OpenAI disclosed a rogue agent episode involving AI firm Hugging Face. Anthropic said a misconfiguration allowed Claude models to reach the internet from testing environments that were supposed to be isolated, leading to unauthorized access to 3 organization systems. The company said it identified the incident after reviewing 141,006 test sessions, a process it launched following OpenAI's disclosure last week that an autonomous agent powered by its AI models went rogue during a security test and triggered a hack that compromised the infrastructure of Hugging Face. The breaches signal that AI's expanding capabilities are already fueling the security threat experts long feared, and even top developers can be caught off guard by flaws their models can exploit.
Okay.
Claude compromised the impacted organization's infrastructure using basic techniques such as exploiting weak passwords and unauthenticated endpoints. Anthropic said the incident involves 3 separate models, Claude Opus 4.7, Claude Mythos 5, and an internal research model The earliest cases dated to April and occurred in evaluation environments that lacked what the company described as standard safeguards. Oh, so this happened and they didn't even know it. So they just did a big review because of what happened with OpenAI. Oh, that's reassuring.
That's very promising, isn't it? Yeah.
So
Good.
reassuring.
You got control of that. Yeah.
The breaches occurred during the so-called capture the flag exercises in which models are tasked with finding hidden information in simulated networks. The company said its prompts told the models they had no internet access, but a misunderstanding with its evaluation partner, Irregular, left the systems connected to the public internet. Anthropic said it began reviewing the evaluation transcripts on July 23rd and suspended all cyber evaluations the same day after finding evidence that Claude may have accessed the internet. It identified all 3 incidents by July 24th and notified the affected organizations by July 27th.
You know, and the really scary thing is, and I know this from working in the intelligence community, and I think there's a lot of parallels here. What aren't they telling us?
Oh, absolutely. And by the way, 2 of the organizations that were hacked were unaware of the activity before being contacted by Anthropic.
That's even scarier. They didn't detect it.
No, and it makes you go, well, how much do we not know?
Right.
And especially like this is the private sector, like they're supposed to be working with the Department of Defense.
Sure.
God knows what the Chinese are up to.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to wonder how much.
It's a
fascinating time.
It's a brave new world. In the words of our good friend in his dystopian writings. It's
Aldous Huxley. Yeah. This is a brave new world. But thank God, socialism's cropping up in the Democratic Party.
If you really want to stymie technology, bring the socialists. That's a good thing, right? They're the counterbalance, I guess.
Right.
They'll screw things up.
But I don't know. I just hope, I know a lot of people aren't preparing themselves, but I hope folks get ready for what's coming. It doesn't mean you have to become a coder or like a hacker yourself or all these other things. There are just basic things you can do where you are less reliant on the digital space.
Yep.
And I mean this, I said this a few weeks ago. I mean this 100%. You can learn much more from prayer than books. You can learn much more from prayer about yourself and the world than scrolling on Facebook or X or, God forbid, Instagram or LinkedIn. Like, just sit in silence. And, if you need help, there's a lot of brilliant minds. Like today was the feast day of St. Ignatius of Loyola. And, spiritual discernment. And he created a whole framework for spiritual discernment and examination of self. And that's just one framework of many out there. But I just wonder, again, how many folks are shutting off everything and just sitting in the silence and letting it speak volumes. You got to wonder how much noise occupies our everyday. Because, that's what sells. The noise, the sizzle, it sells.
Right. It does.
But then, of course, certain things have sizzle and they sell and they go viral and they have real consequences as well. Of course, did you see the largest one-day illegal border crossing in history of Europe?
Yeah.
This migrants there overrun a Spanish city. Now, folks think like they crossed the Straits of Gibraltar.
No. There's actually 3 autonomous cities on the North African coast, to include the Canary Islands and Malaysia, and then Ceuta there. Weird, very weird, but they're still there. So the Spanish.
But apparently 25,000 folks who ran across the border have already left because there's no food.
Imagine that.
Yeah. And Trump is already, calling out Spain, you're supposed to be an ally, calling out their leftist government.
They have a leftist. They have a socialist basically as their president right now. So.
But applying this to our society, our nation, our government, Stephen Miller, the Trump administration said this: the Democrats did this to America every single day for 4 years under Biden, and will do it again instantaneously, but orders of magnitude greater, if they are given any form of national power. Democrats will see your home trampled and stolen by invaders, and they will rejoice. J.D. Vance, the vice president, weighing in, saying, thank God the president of the United States was elected and our country's border no longer looks like this. These images out of Spain are an unfortunate reminder of the consequences of mass migration and the radical left-wing globalist policies. that have enabled the invasion of the West. Now, again, when you realize, oh, it's still on the coast of North Africa, it's not like everybody got too much on a boat. They got on a boat for a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's not like they made a big Herculean.
Yeah, I mean, it's right on
journey.
the border. It's kind of an island. It's a strange place, but yeah, they did have to cross water in boats to get there.
And again, the Trump administration's blasting them. President Trump has long warned Europe what would happen if they continued to implement far-left globalist policies, including enabling mass migration, said a White House spokesperson. Spain and other countries who have adopted this destructive philosophy should immediately reverse course or risk their own demise. Yeah, maybe that's what they want.
It's strange because Spain, if you look at history, Spain really has fought a large brunt of the Moors and the Muslims that have infiltrated. So there's a lot of nationalist pride in Spain, but their government right now is it's kind of counterintuitive to what they really believe. So
I don't know. I still believe in Catholic Spain.
Yes, so do I.
That as much as the leftists are crazy.
Some of the best knights of the religious orders were actually of the there were several. There were like 3 major crusader groups that originated out of Spain, and then Portugal too. Portugal had 2, so they were badasses.
Now here is Trump did a cabinet meeting, first televised cabinet meeting from Camp David.
Yeah.
Let's listen in.
You know, I saw Spain yesterday, and I watched the catastrophe that took place. It looks like an invasion of a country by hundreds of thousands of people. And that same thing's going to happen to us if the Republicans don't get elected, except worse. Much bigger, much easier to get into, despite the fact that we have built thousands of miles of wall, which I said we were going to do. But we didn't have that, forget it. But we have the safest border in the world. If we're not in office, our country will be invaded at levels that made Spain look small time. And when I watched it, I said, boy, I'm going to say it because I knew you were going to be at Camp David. And I said, that's going to be a talking point for the midterms. Because when you look at what happened to Spain, they don't know what to do. And it's happening again today. They're coming in by the tens of thousands. They're just invading the country. And what that is weak law, bad management, but very liberal law. They passed a couple of laws, and people read. You know, people are smart. They read from other countries, and they swam that 3-mile swim, or however they got in, but nobody's seen anything like it. That will look good compared to what's going to happen to the United States. The biggest thing, the worst thing that Biden did is allowing 25 million people into our country.
Yeah, no kidding.
Did you hear what Caroline Leavitt said about the Camp David meetings with the Department of War staff planning this new? They have a big plan. Admiral Cooper does. She said it's going to be fun and different. She said
that's one way to describe it.
It's going to be fun and different than other meetings. Fun and different.
Yeah, and that is, I mean, that continues to be like, what's next with Iran?
Yeah,
is the big question.
Well, I think that the jig is up in terms of. There's going to be no reasonable discourse with them, and I think that my understanding is that Brad Cooper has told the president in no uncertain terms, just this graduated strike for strike, tit for tat's not going to get us anywhere. And if we want to preserve our interceptors, we take the fight to them and knock out their capacity to launch. So I think that's what's on deck coming up soon, and I think you will see Israel back in the fray. And I think we've already seen. I have pretty good sources telling me Saudi Arabia is planning a land and aerial campaign and a blockade campaign of the Houthis. So it's going to get a little bigger, I'm thinking. We'll see.
Yeah, and there's all sorts of dynamics to this that I'm sure we're not all
read on to everything.
Is not privy to. But I continue to hope for a lasting peace. Now, how do you get to that lasting peace? It's eluded many leaders in that area of the world.
It is.
But overwhelming force might very well be the way you get.
Ass-kicking violence usually solves the problem. Once you get their attention, then they'll stop. But you got to knock them upside the head, slobber knock them, as I say.
See, I was trying to be diplomatic. Overwhelmed.
I haven't used AKV in a long time.
But that was a good use of it. That was a
I just said it's sometimes we have to do the nasty to get to better. So
we'll see.
The ultimate wedgie.
Yeah, because it is. It is a little frustrating where they're like, well, we've taken out most of their missile launchers and most of their missile capacity. It's like, how many missiles they stuff into mountains over there?
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Listen, I want to say this. I think that Iran did an incredible job of preparing for the new battle space. They were thorough, they were exacting, and they were prepared. And I salute them. And I say this, it's better to kind of spin your wheels right now and learn this new battle space with Iran when you can, rather than when you have to with China. And I think it's a valuable laboratory of sorts.
And another thing going on in that part of the world is Trump announces deal with Hamas.
Yeah, I saw that.
To lay down weapons, but it all depends on Israel.
That's the wild card.
I don't know about that, but no, they seem all happy about it at the Camp David cabinet meeting. But President Trump said yesterday, that a deal had been reached for Hamas to disarm and Israel to withdraw its forces from the Gaza Strip, but many hurdles, conditions, and long timelines remain to wind down the war in the Palestinian territory. The White House announcement comes 9 months after a U.S. brokered ceasefire was signed. Negotiations between Israel and Hamas had largely deadlocked over the implementation of its second phase, including the disarmament of Hamas and the reconstruction of Gaza. The agreement will be carried out in carefully structured phases, Trump said on social media. As disarmament is completed, Israeli forces will withdraw, and the International Stabilization Force will work with a new Palestinian police force to take responsibility for Gaza being safe for its residents and its neighbors. No, so that actually, the first step has to be the disarmament. Like, disarmament first, Israel gets out.
Yeah.
Then you bring in the new people with the new guns.
That's exactly. I was going to say.
Like, that seems like that's the right order.
Buys them time to have they can restock, resupply, and reload. And but I will say this: did you see what happened after that announcement? About an hour later, the largest controlled explosion in Lebanon occurred. They said it blew ash for miles everywhere, underground bunkers that they were destroying there. It was like
in Lebanon.
Yeah, in Lebanon. Yeah.
Well, and apparently there is some deal between Israel and Lebanon, though.
There is. And Lebanon said this is a violation of our sovereignty, and it was against Hezbollah. And,
right.
But it's just, it's like, okay, you're working on it with Hamas. Oh, boom, we're going to blow it.
Violation of your sovereignty. How are you sovereign over Hezbollah?
Yeah, you have no sovereignty. Lebanon is not a real
but
country.
Rubio's in this cabinet meeting seems hopeful about it.
Well,
actually, he's the one. He had Vance talking about the anti-fraud efforts. Had Rubio talking about this deal that nobody thought could get done there between Lebanon and Israel. Rubio says it's unprecedented.
That's incredible.
Actually, let's jump into it. Let's actually hear the Secretary of State himself. Yeah, it's almost like they don't have good microphones at Camp David. But, they're planning for the biggest, most super-duper strikes ever, man. And so,
it's going to be great.
Sometimes the audio doesn't have to be good on the cabinet meeting. Let's listen in.
We had an unprecedented ministerial. 60 countries came to Washington and were a part of an effort where we were shedding light on far-left terrorism and violence. The bomb goes off somewhere and it's tied to some right-wing group or what I don't consider neo-Nazis right-wing, I consider them Nazis, right? But you're going to get a lot of attention on that. But if it's a leftist group, an Antifa group, that gets no coverage, or they ignore the ideological spin and the ideological reason behind it. So we got 60 countries came up here and hopefully creating a strong to go after far-left violent terrorism. And go after it, call it by name, and I think we're building a very strong coalition there. We've had some successes in the Middle East, Mr. President, as you know, in the diplomatic front. The deal with Lebanon and Israel is unprecedented. President Ayoun was here a week ago. I think that was the first visit by a Lebanese president in over 30 some odd years. In fact, this is the first time the Israelis and the Lebanese government have spoken at the official level in close to 30 years. And that was thanks to your leadership. A lot of work to be done to keep that peace and build it. But it's a real achievable. And of course, as you announced last night, Mr. President, this disarmament deal that you brought about with Steve and Jared's work on Hamas is another big step as well. It's something a lot of people thought would never happen. It needs to happen, but the fact they've even agreed to it is a real achievable. last point is on the Western Hemisphere. For the first time in 15, 20 years, the overwhelming majority of the countries in the Western Hemisphere are now led by pro-American leaders and pro-American governments. It's an extraordinary achievement. All of it happening through virtually every election that's happened in the Western Hemisphere. If you were elected president, has elected someone who is American. And I think this is an incredible situation. And last but not least, and I have to thank a number of agencies here, particularly the Department of War, after that terrible earthquake in Venezuela, within 36 hours, the full force of the American government was on the ground providing humanitarian assistance. It was a sight to behold. The USS Ford, I think, was in their port. Our Marines and armed service personnel were helping run their airport and their tower. It is one of the fastest, most dramatic, and most effective humanitarian responses, certainly in recent history, if not ever. And they came at the direction of the president. In fact, within an hour of that earthquake hitting, I remember because I was overseas, the president called and said, make sure we go in there and help these people recover from this. And we did. And thanks to your leadership, Mr. President. It's a great story. Enough needs to be told about it because the credit goes to so many agencies represented here today, but really the Department of War's effort was phenomenal.
So Rubio seems like a happy camper, but everybody's in that mode. Bessent and Vance, and it's a cabinet meeting, so everything's going great, sir.
Yep.
Everything's shining
Just like
and
with
wonderful.
Putin and his war when they meet with him.
Yeah,
Everything's fine. We will soon have the Donbass.
Yeah, right around the corner, boss.
We're just hanging there.
This part of the program brought to you by Invista. Wait,
No, not Invista.
There has been a change. Yeah. Austin Baranco and the entire team there. Of course, you heard Brant McDonald for years on these airways with Greg Budell.
Yep.
The team there at Invista, they're staying together. They're keeping that same strategy that they use for asset management and for financial planning. That same sort of synergy that they've had for years and given them great success. But they've now joined Waverly Advisors.
That's right.
So this part of the program brought to you by Austin Baranco and Waverly Advisors. And so Invista joined Waverly to expand their resources and services available to their clients while remaining aligned with the firm that shares their values. This is an Alabama-based firm, folks. So it's an incredible deal that they've gotten done here. At the heart of both firms is a commitment to advocating for clients and providing thoughtful, personalized financial advice. And so even with this change, the mission remains the same. And they believe wealth management's about more than just managing assets. It's about building lasting relationships. And so check them out today. I mean, you could go and put in Invista Advisors. It's going to take you to waverly-advisors.com. Just go to waverly-advisors.com to learn more. And, you know, if you are a current client and have been for years with Austin and Brent and the whole team there, then you've already gotten a phone call from them. But this is a great time now, folks, with these new resources, with these new, say, technologies they can bring to bear along with their years of insightful strategies on their own there. Well, call them up, 387-0094 for asset management as well as financial planning advice across the board wherever you are in life. And be sure to tell them that Joey, that fellow on the radio, sent you.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
For news, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The Trump administration has announced it's ending the Biden-era Medicare Part D premium subsidy program at the end of this year. That decision means millions of seniors could face higher standalone drug plan premiums starting in 2027, but the president told reporters today at Camp David because of his policies, America's now facing far lower drug prices because they're getting most favored nation trade status pricing levels in their deal with the drug makers. Hamas has confirmed it will disarm as part of a deal announced by President Trump that also requires Israel to end its strikes and pull out of Gaza. It marks a potential breakthrough in ending the war. Little excitement in space. A drifting SpaceX rocket now on a collision course with the moon. After launching a pair of lunar landers more than a year ago, the rocket's upper stage will unintentionally slam into the moon on Wednesday, likely carving out a crater. More on these stories at SRNnews.com.
full speed into summer, and if you're thinking about buying a home this year, here's what you need to do first. Get pre-qualified, not once you found the house, now before you even start looking. Here's why. In this market, houses sell in days, sometimes hours. The buyers who win aren't the ones with the highest offer. They're the ones already approved, ready to move, with a lender who can actually close. If you're not pre-qualified, you're a week behind. Maybe that house is gone. Well, I want to tell you about Fellowship Home Loans. For over 20 years, my friends Mike and Brian, guys that I've worked with, they've built Fellowship around one thing, getting loans done for real families with unique situations. They use programs and options that typical lenders don't take the time to explore. Down payment solutions that fit the way people actually live. Everything's done in-house, one roof, one team, all with a servant-led mentality. Get pre-qualified today. Go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G or call 800-510-MIKE. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
On this last day of July, it should be a fairly routine summertime forecast for today with a high temperature in the middle 90s, triple digits on the heat index, scattered, random, mostly afternoon and evening showers and storms, and a low tonight in the low to mid 70s. But over the weekend, the rain probabilities are much higher as a front approaches, scattered to numerous showers and storms, locally heavy downpours. Be flexible with your plans. High temperatures both Saturday and Sunday in the lower 90s and lows at night in the lower 70s. Some of the storms could be on the strong side, and our weather app will keep you on top of the action. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Back to school shopping starts now, and ASC Credit Union has you covered. Our back to school loan helps you pay for supplies, laptops, clothes, and more. Stop by your local ASC branch or apply today at yourasccu.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. The Alabama Department of Transportation is awarding more than $3 million in grants to improve 11 airports throughout the state. The bulk of the funds will be going to the Wetumpka Municipal Airport. Almost $1.2 million in state and federal money will go toward building a 10-unit hangar and a new taxi lane at Wetumpka Municipal Airport. The official grand opening of Manna House took place in Montgomery on Thursday. Located off Court Street, Manna House will serve as a centralized hub for river region organizations to prepare and distribute meals. The facility's primary goal is to prepare at least 1,000 meals a day for those in need. Organizers also unveiled the new Manna food truck designed to expand the center's reach. Montgomery Public Schools' annual Back to School Bash happens this weekend. The event takes place Saturday from 9 to noon at Crampton Bowl Multiplex. Parents and students can enjoy interactive learning stations, games, bounce houses, giveaways, plus much more. Free school supply kits will be available while supplies last. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Welcome to Eclectic Coins, Montgomery's largest coin dealer, specializing in buying and selling investment-grade gold and silver coins. And they have a large selection of rare coins and coins from around the world. Visit them at 543 Northeastern Boulevard or on the web at eclecticcoins.com. Eclectic Coins, where collectors who know go.
Hi, this is Brendan with Royal Furniture. A big thank you to Blue Water Broadcasting for helping us launch our Alabama stores in Prattville, Montgomery, Auburn, Gadsden, Athens, Decatur, Oxford, and Florence. We appreciate your hard work and dedication. Here's to a strong partnership and even stronger results. Thanks, Blue Water.
Blue Water Broadcasting is the #1 most listened to radio group in the River region. Find out how to put this reach to work for your business. Call us to find out how we can help. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folk helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Bowen Road. You know, with over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
You're listening to Joey Clark. Warm sound, clear sound, right here with Joey Clark. It's Joey Clark. Joey Clark.
Welcome back, and I'm now wondering, what do y'all think about cousin marriage?
Ooh, Kentucky style or West Virginia style?
Isn't it still legal in Alabama?
It is for. I think isn't it about parental consent over 16? I don't know, something like that.
Well, I bring this up because there's a story out of Maine.
Oh boy, listen, Maine. Have you ever been to Maine?
I've never been to Maine.
Imagine the lowest, like the Cajuns of the North. But they're very, very strange up there. Yeah, it's very backwards.
Isn't that where Tucker Carlson lives?
Yeah, it's perfect for him.
Let's see. I'm going to say cousin marriage laws in Alabama.
Okay.
But and nationwide.
Yeah.
Just so we get a nice base here, throwing it into the AI. But here's a report from Breitbart. Maine Democrat Troy Jackson, longtime partner, are second cousins with 2 kids. Second cousins.
All right.
Maine Democrat U.S. Senate nominee. So they went from the guy who had the SS Death Squad.
Oh, this is the best they could do.
I still find it shocking that the guy who had the Nazi tattoo,
the Death Sedge tattoo, yeah, which is
and who said awful things to people online on Reddit, and that he was a little rough with the ladies.
Sure.
It's so shocking. But now they've got a new guy named Troy Jackson.
Yes,
I'm sorry that he shares that name.
Well, it is, but I saw he was their nominee.
Yeah. So the Maine Wire reported that Jackson, the former Maine Senate president, tapped last week to challenge Republican Susan Collins and his longtime partner are related by blood. The outlet said the two are second cousins and have 2 kids together.
Wow.
They're not even married.
Well, there's there's that little cousin thing, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
What is the law there, the Joe?
Robinson identified the partner as Lana Pelletier.
See, I told you French. There's a lot of French up there. A la français, francophonie.
He reported that she and Jackson share a set of great-grandparents.
Okay. Great-grandparents shared, okay. So that means...
that would be weird. Because I'm blessed to have known my great-grandmother, my dad's grandmother, and my great-grandfather. In fact, the area I'm living in, the house, was initially built for him, knowing that he would get older.
Okay.
So, Joe.
Yeah.
Still got some photos of him back then.
That's awesome.
And a mug that he used to have, you bet your kielbasa were Polish.
Polish.
I'm like, I can't take this stuff down. It's great. And so, thinking about, if they... I married somebody who had the same great-grandparents as me, that would be really weird.
Yeah.
That would be really weird.
It's really close in lineage, yeah.
Yeah, that's too close. That puts it when you think second cousins, you try to start to think, what is that? No, same great-grandparents.
Yeah, that's enough. That's all I need to hear. That's all I need to hear.
Both are from Allagash, a small town in Aroostook County. I don't know if that's the way you say that, but Aroostook.
Aroostook, yeah.
Aroostook.
Yeah, they're very, very strange up there.
The two have never legally married, and Maine does not recognize common law marriage. The relationship could carry consequences for how Jackson reports his finances. Under Senate rules, candidates and members must file detailed disclosures covering their own income, assets, and liabilities, along with those of a spouse. Because Jackson and Pelletier are never wed, it's not clear whether his disclosures would have to account for her finances the way Susan Collins' filings account for her husband's. But, you see a picture of these two, of Troy and this lady.
What's her name, Lana?
Lana. Yeah, Troy and Lana. You see a picture of them, and
happy family.
They do say that as you get longer together as a couple, you start to look alike.
Ugh.
But I think they looked alike before they ever got together.
I think that they have a
They
common
look
bond.
related. They look related.
Did their children have cross eyes or a third tail or something like that? No.
I think the kids are all right.
All right, well then, the kids are all right.
As far as physical deformities.
Yeah,
as far as physical deformities. They're no.
Robert Daltrey said they were.
Well, other than the girl has a tail.
It's a novelty. It's a novelty.
Yeah, it's just cute.
Makes her cute.
Mm-hmm.
So
older bios have this woman as his wife.
Okay.
His current campaign materials describe her as his partner, which, ew.
How old are the children? Does it say?
It doesn't say.
I'm just curious how long they've been together, I guess, is what I'm asking. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't say how old the kids are. Yeah,
No.
all right. Well, that they're married for all practical intents and purposes.
Yes, they pretty much are. But anyway, I threw it into Grok.
And?
First cousin marriage is legal in Alabama with no special restrictions.
Okay. Then I was wrong. I thought you had to have consent or something. So, yeah.
Yeah, Alabama's criminal incest statute prohibits marriage or sexual intercourse with ancestors or descendants by blood or adoption, siblings,
okay,
aunts, uncles, nieces, or nephews, step-parents or stepchildren.
Okay.
First cousins are not on that list.
They didn't make the cut, did they?
What in the world? That's
so you
odd,
can have
man.
adopted. You have adopted for a separate bloodline, and you can't.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense.
It does.
Like you don't want grooming and
No,
like,
that's what you worry about. Yeah.
But the current marriage statute, it's Alabama Code Section 31(9.1), requires each party to submit a notarized affidavit stating, among other things, that the parties are not related by blood or adoption, such that the marriage would violate section yada, yada, yada. Because first cousins fall outside that prohibition, the marriage is permitted. There are no extra conditions such as age thresholds, proof of infertility, or mandatory genetic counseling. First cousins once removed, half cousins, and cousins related only by adoption are also allowed under the same framework. Closer relationships remain both avoidable as marriages and potentially criminal.
Wow.
Now, there's no federal law on cousin marriage either. States fall into three broad categories. Some say it's fully legal, no special restrictions. That's 16 to 18 states plus the District of Columbia. So in Washington, D.C., you can marry your cousin. But these include Alabama, Alaska, California, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Vermont, and Virginia. So actually, it's a hodgepodge of a lot of different places. It doesn't hew to a particular region.
Yeah, right.
Conditional, a smaller group, usually Arizona, Illinois, Indiana, Maine, Utah, Wisconsin, a few others. Typical conditions include both parties being over a certain age, often 50 or 65. Wow. One party being infertile or sterile, or in Maine, proof of genetic counseling.
Okay.
I don't know about that. And prohibited. The majority of the states, around 24 to 26 or more, depending on the source, Arkansas, Delaware, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana. See, as we read through these, Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri, Nevada, Ohio. I'm sorry, bro.
Listen, it's okay. There's a lot of
Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Texas, Washington, West Virginia. In some of these, the marriage is void. In a subset, it's also a criminal offense. Recognition of out-of-state cousin marriages performed legally elsewhere is inconsistent. There's no reciprocity law for my cousin marriage?
None.
We can't move to Texas?
None. None.
So,
but
That's fascinating, but it makes me think in places like Kentucky and Oklahoma and Ohio, they had a cousin marriage
West
problem.
Virginia, they did. Yeah, I'm sure they did. And what's up with the notarized piece of paper to make it valid here, though? It's like, hey, we got a notary to approve of this.
Yeah, well, I guess any marriage you're going to get notarized, right?
Oh, you're supposed to.
Yeah, so I guess it just falls under that process.
It's just civil.
These laws come to bear.
Yeah, but still, I'm thinking that makes it okay.
So genetic risk for offspring of first cousins is modestly elevated relative to the general population, primarily for recessive disorders, which is the main policy rationale cited by restricting states. Absolute risk remains far lower than for closer relatives, like, brother and sister. But still.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah. First cousin marriage,
it still happens, obviously. It happens a lot around the world.
But anyway, they went from a guy running for U.S. Senate who had a Nazi tattoo, who beat up women and did many other awful things, especially sins of the tongue. They went from that guy to a guy married to a second cousin.
A cousin molester.
And who have 2 kids, and as far as we know, the kids are just
They're
all
okay.
right.
The kids are all right.
272-9228. Just shifting gears completely. Going back to the military stuff, Admiral Brad Cooper, head of U.S. Central Command, detailed concerns about cell phones. On bases in the Middle East. The top U.S. commanders issued a stark warning, cautioning that cell phone videos shared online are inadvertently assisting Iran in targeting American bases. Here's what Cooper said in the letter. The direct, unavoidable cost of this open source intelligence could be measured in the lives of American service members and civilian residents in targeted Gulf countries, Cooper wrote in the letter. He urged troops to redouble our focus on operational security. And he said that anything like reactions, photos, and footage from cell phones of our troops is being used by the Iranians for near real-time intelligence. And this, obviously, China's probably helping out.
Well, you remember early, about 4 years ago, the problem the Russians had in the Ukraine. They were bringing their cell phones, and they were targeting those cell phones because they can get the signal retriangulated, put rounds right onto it. And the same thing has happened. What happens is this. It's, first of all, when you deploy, that's verboten. You're not bringing a cell phone. They buy them on the local market there, GSM phones. That's what happens with troops.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And so you got to do a shakedown on them.
And what is it? The excuses, I want to be in touch with my family or my friends.
Or maybe the apps. Maybe they get a grinder over there. I don't know what they're doing. That's the Navy. The Navy's using grinder.
Oh. The Arab grinder's got to be.
The boy with the Arab strap.
Mm-hmm.
Good song though by Belle and Sebastian. You ever heard of Belle and Sebastian?
No, never heard of
You would like them. They are a English band from the 90s, and they're still together. They
have any songs about a goat?
No, but they got the boy with the Arab strap, which he's whipping, but it's a different story. Yeah, you like it. I think they're really, really clever.
Now, in this domain of information, say telecommunications, just like cyber warfare, the U.S. military revealed it's been testing its new signal scrambling system designed to thwart enemy precision weapons. So far, it's been a success. It has an imposing name, Hammer of the Gods.
Hammer of the Gods.
Which you think is like the
Mjolnir.
First I saw this and went, wait, they're really doing the rods from gods? Like the dropping tungsten rods?
We do that. We do that.
But the Department of War reports that it's the culmination of efforts by several defense branches. Fort Irwin, California is where they're doing this. A key highlight of joint experimentation during Project Convergence Capstone 6 is the Army, Navy, and Space Force coming together on the West Coast to experiment with the effects of a technology called Hammer of the Gods. Although Hammer of the Gods is a relatively new technological capability, it has already begun to play an important role in military experimentation. Hammer of the Gods is an emitter that provides an expanded suite of command and control and operational capabilities in a highly deployable, low electromagnetic signature electronic warfare platform, delivering multi-domain effects at the forward edge of operations. What that means in layman's terms is that technology disrupts navigation for enemy precision weapons, making them more likely to miss their targets while ensuring that our forces can communicate effectively.
So there's This has been around for a while. There's certain electronic warfare pods, like one's called Angry Kitten, and it's carried on an F-16 Viper. They can scramble a lot of it. The problem we have right now with drones is a lot of them are coming through fiber optic lines, which is harder and harder to do. So where does that leave us? It leaves us, I'm telling you where we're headed. It's already happening. Microwave technology, where we just fry everything that's in front of it. And it just doesn't matter if it's being controlled by fiber optic or by manual remote.
It's just getting weirder and weirder. And
it's getting really,
crazy.
it's getting weird. It's getting weird for sure.
But, we, as a nation, need to up our game. And like, I know you've been big on this, and like we've had Cinco on to talk about it a great deal, is like right now, and I'm sure this is what Admiral Cooper is telling Trump, is like, this is really expensive the way we're doing this.
Absolutely.
In Iran. Like the amount of money it costs us to shoot down a drone or a missile is pretty crazy for them to produce it.
So that to your point, the reason that Brad Cooper is pushing for a increased campaign intensity and frequency is to alleviate the response interceptors, because if we can knock out their locations, and again, some will get through, but we can mitigate that, because you're right. The average cost for an AIM-9 is about $175,000. An AMRAAM 120 is like $1 million, which are air-to-air missiles. You don't want to be wasting those on $5,000 drones.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
And we should have the production capacity and capability to ramp up like a bunch of drones that can counter the drone.
That I've written about this ad nauseum on Substack. One of the things that Cinco and I have worked on is it's a kind of a white paper on policy change, because the antiquated defense acquisition system, it takes years to do, when we know that technology changes in the open source consumer off the shelf in weeks, sometimes days. So we have to be responsive, and the pairing of small private firms that are commercial with our bigger suppliers has to happen. Joey, let's be honest. This has been going on for 5 years in Ukraine. Why have we not ramped up? Why have we not already addressed this? That's a failure on the Biden administration part, mostly.
Money, baby.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, and money streams that are very old.
He says, no, you need $1 million missiles. Not.
Well, you're going to give a huge contract to this new startup? How dare you?
Yeah, well, that's what
I'm calling my congressman.
So Ukraine, I have it on good advice from someone, Bull Gerfen, who's a good friend of ours for the show with James Capers, works for the Doge office up at Owen West with Pete Hegseth at the Pentagon. And he tells me that there is a lot of new and crazy programs underway to really ramp up and speed commercial off the shelf. Because let's be honest, we brought a bunch of Ukrainian advisors over and said, hey, you're going about the wrong way. Here's how you do it. And we need to listen to them. So,
Yeah, listen to the folks that have actually been doing the killing and the dying.
It's been, the proof of concept is there. So,
Yeah, and it is kind of remarkable. You take what was, after an initial attempt at an impenetrable wall of defense the Russians had built up.
That's right.
And now you're continuing to push back that wall little by little with just drones.
Have you seen the latest campaign in addition to their energy sector, the Wildberries attacks? Wildberries is the Amazon of Russia. It is the largest economic engine in Russia.
Yeah.
They have taken out over half of their distribution warehouses. They found that China was sending gear through Wildberries to be delivered to soldiers. So they've been using and attacking them, and these things are blowing up. I mean, like, whatever they're hitting, there's definitely munitions in it. And it's amazing. It's really killing the local economy. And the average Russian now gets, they say 70% of all purchases go through Wildberries. Well, guess what? They're feeling the burn now.
Well, and it brings up an old concern in the back of my mind, and this isn't to blame anybody. It's more just thinking through, since this war started, what happens when you back the Russian bear into a corner? And I'm not even suggesting nukes.
No.
But what happens, like, you could say it's Russia's own fault for doing this, for invading in the way they did.
Yeah.
Like, again, I'm not trying to pick blame. I'm just saying, now that this has been percolating and the carnage for how many years now?
5 years almost.
And the Russians are now really starting to feel the hurt more and more.
Yep.
Like, what happens if there is a crack up, that Lindsey Graham gets a dying wish? Is there a Brutus in Russia?
I think there is.
I loved it when Lindsey quoted Shakespeare.
Oh, yeah, me too.
But yeah, you got to wonder what sort of monster might come out of that Russian system. because it's remarkable how, as nasty as it was and corrupt as it was, the transition from the Soviet Union to the Russian Federation could have been a hell of a lot worse than it was.
It really could have been. You're
And
right.
so it's like, we want to run that program again, see if we get lucky again. And I don't know, maybe it's not in our hands at this point, but it's what a mess. But
is.
a main takeaway from that theater of war, as well as this new one in the Middle East, as this new technology is here to stay. And as much as, you still don't want to get rid of the A-10 warthogs, and we're not.
We're not. Trust me. That's always a topic. We're mothballing them. No, we're not. We need them.
That's the cool dynamic here. You're going to need more drones, more electronic measures, cyber measures, and you're probably going to need more just kick-ass
violence in the air.
from analog systems that existed decades ago that your grandfather flew.
It's hard to improve upon perfection, and that's a perfect aircraft.
Anyway, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services, and there at Pest Pro, Ashley and that great team are ready to help you out with any and all of your pest control needs. But of course, 'tis the season for mosquitoes.
Yeah, they are bad right now.
Yeah, and one got me this afternoon when I was in the backyard. I was like, dadgummit.
At least it wasn't on your forehead.
Or yesterday afternoon. Yeah, it was just like, oh, those are the
Those are
worst.
the
On the
worst.
forehead, where you're like, you get a big welt. Like, nobody takes you seriously then.
Cyclops.
It's just distracted. Like, what's wrong with your face, man? It's a mosquito. It's not normally like this.
Okay.
I've been doing toner. I don't want it to be splotchy.
You got to get with Pest Pro Services then.
They can get rid of those mosquitoes so you can actually enjoy your backyard, your front porch. Maybe you have a big property and you really like to walk the property other than getting eaten up by mosquitoes. Or could be because of all this rain that's come through, summer rain, fire ants.
I got to get them out
Get
there.
Pest Pro out there.
I know I need to have them look at it. Fight a losing battle, Joey.
Yeah, we'll bring in the big gun.
That's what I'm saying. I need
Pest
to do
Pro
that.
Services. And of course, if you're just looking for a great company to do basic pest control for you on a regular basis, get with Pest Pro Services. The proof is their success. Like, a company doesn't grow in terms of employees, in terms of customers, and the way they have grown in the last 5 years without being really good at what they do. So let them show that to you. Let you be the next customer. They can help you out. 265-9990 is that number. That's 265-9990. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services, and be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Troy, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Well, let's see who's on line one. You're on there. Who's this?
This is Bob. Good afternoon.
Hey, Bob.
You know, I've thought a lot about Senator Graham and how he compares to the founding fathers, because he wasn't married. He gave nearly everything he had to our government and the people. And, you know, that's the way it was with the founding fathers. They were ready to give their property or their life or whatever. They had a real devotion to the people in the country. And, you know, you rarely see that anymore. And I think we saw it in Senator Graham more than we'll probably ever see it again, because he gave it all. And some have alluded to the fact he just kind of wore himself out and killed himself from exhaustion.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he seemed very much married to the job. And being not having kids, not having a wife, frees up time. Just ask a Catholic priest.
It's true.
You know, Paul said it in the Bible, though. He said you're better off if you don't get married, but if you got to, go ahead, because he knew that take a good bit of your time and energy away from whatever your purpose was.
And right now I'm slowly reading through St. Augustine's Confessions, and I'm at the point of where he's like, okay, he's starting to believe the Word of God. He's starting to just read the Scriptures, but he's still got this side piece, this woman he's been sleeping with for years, and a kid with her, and he just can't give it up. And then so she pulls out in the sense of, like, she takes a vow of chastity and leaves, like goes back across the continent. And he's going through this whole idea of, like, okay, I really want to get married, but I think the real reason I want to get married is I keep my lust. I don't actually want to commit myself. And, you know, eventually he gets out of it. But it's fascinating, like, how many guys got married because they just want to do the nasty, and they didn't get married for, say, the right reasons. And Thus, maybe you should have, just committed yourself to American government or a church or something, dude.
Well, it should be viewed as a covenant forever.
Yes.
And for the right reasons, obviously. If you don't start it out right, it's not going to end up right, obviously.
It's true.
And but there's this old quote I remember some years ago reading quotes that says, "He who travels fastest travels alone." And there's so much truth to that.
Yep.
Joey, I appreciate what you're doing, and you keep it up. Have a good week.
Thank you, Bob. 272-9228. Yeah, Gustin's great, by the way.
Marriage is a wonderful institution, but who wants to be committed to an institution for the rest of their lives? I had a football coach that say that. Gentlemen, it's a wonderful institution, but you don't want to be in a crazy house.
It's a great vocation.
It is.
And especially the folks when you meet them that do it right. Because there's a lot of examples when people don't do it right.
Yeah.
And a lot, I got a lot of friends my age who are divorced, with kids or, there's, excuse me, pardon me, a lot of boomers I know. How many divorces?
I mean,
and so it's not like I'm sitting here and like wagging my finger at anybody, but then you see the examples of the folks that are married 60 something years.
Yeah, it's great. That's a great thing.
And one of the more, it's bittersweet on the surface. Because when you lose a spouse, I've been told it's like you lose a part of you, especially if you really were in it together. But when you see that older couple at church every week, or some of you only go once a month, but whenever you go, and you see them for years, and then all of a sudden one of them ain't there. And I would just say, you don't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be over the top, but reach out to those folks.
Say hello in there.
Yeah, because, they keep on living, but that's one of the roughest things, especially if you're in your 80s, 70s or 80s, and you lose a spouse. Just a phone call, somebody that you hadn't talked to in a while, just to check on them. Don't have to solve their problems, just got to listen to them. It can go a long, long way.
And it's funny you say that, because I think as men, at least when you deal with women, we are programmed to be problem solvers. We want to make it better. How can I fix it? Sometimes you just need to listen.
Yeah.
And I need to work on that for sure. And I think that we all could use that, because God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. And sometimes we just need to listen. That's all they want.
Well, and having gone through the death of a parent early.
Sure.
I found out through that process, because I had a lot of responses to it that were some not very healthy. But my favorite, the things that moved me the most are the people that said nothing and just gave me a hug and sat with me.
That's right.
Sometimes that's all it takes. So share a meal together. That's when you need to talk about maybe sports or the weather and or favorite music, the good things of this world. And, get somebody's mind off that, any sort of despairing notion. It's rough. I don't know. I've had that thought more and more as I find myself in the church more, where you see somebody you've known, like I was a kid and I remember that person, and you see somebody going through a rough time. Their spouse isn't there with them anymore.
Yep.
Whether they're just sick or, they've passed away. And I don't know. It shows, though, the people that have run that race, there is something, though it's bittersweet and tragic on the surface, and most of our ends that way. There's something truly enduring and beautiful about it at the end.
There's a great song by Jason Isbell, who I don't listen to anymore because he's a liberal flamer. He's from Muscle Shoals. But Jason Isbell in the 400 unit, he said, it's likely that one of us is going to spend some time alone, meaning that one of us will go first.
Well, we'll all be reunited.
Absolutely, brother.
We truly believe.
And we will know and be known as we were once known.
We got to hit this break. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
I suffered with plantar fasciitis for almost 20 years. I would try drugstore insoles and supports.
If you suffer with plantar fasciitis, we know the search for pain relief can feel like a hopeless ordeal.
I've been through surgeries, foot injections. I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life.
At the Good Feet store, we hear stories every day of all kinds of cheap inserts, expensive shoes, and other failed remedies people have tried that just didn't work.
I was trying all different things. Not a single one worked. And then I was driving past the Good Feet store, and I thought, why not? Give it a try. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support for my feet. Then it was like, okay, this is different. These make a difference.
I'm so glad I met Good Feet. It changed my life.
Don't lose hope. Give the Good Feet store a try.
We're located at 7341 East Chase Parkway in the shops at East Chase. Now hiring.
We get this question all the time.
Do you handle that?
Buying or selling a home?
Yes.
Commercial?
Yes.
Land or investments?
Absolutely. Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. One team.
Every real estate move. 334-322-0662.
Tired of spending your weekends fighting weeds, patchy grass, and a mower that never starts? Mosley Lawn Pros is the solution. They handle residential and commercial lawn maintenance, landscaping, cleanups, and property care so you don't have to. They show up on time, do the job right, and leave your lawn looking sharp every time. Stop stressing over your yard and start loving it. When it comes to your lawn, call the crew your neighbors and local businesses trust. One call, one crew, problem solved. Mosley Lawn Pros, built on hard work, driven by quality. Find them today on Facebook or Google.
Before you commit to that plumbing repair or upgrade, get a second opinion from Headley Plumbing. Our estimate could save you thousands. We do it all: residential, commercial, and septic tank service, serving the entire river region. No membership, no contract, just fair, reliable service. Call Headley Plumbing at 285-3667 or visit headleyplumbing.com. In our business, a flush beats a full house.
Headley Metal Buildings has been your source for quality metal buildings in the river region since 2007. Carports up to 24 feet wide, RV covers, storage buildings, even a sturdy metal barn up to 54 feet wide. Your structure can be customized, installed on level ground, and comes with a 20-year warranty. Let Headley Metal Buildings help you find the perfect solution. Financing available. Call 285-3667 for details or find Headley Metal Buildings on Facebook.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
On this last day of July, it should be a fairly routine summertime forecast for today with a high temperature in the middle 90s, triple digits on the heat index, scattered, random, mostly afternoon and evening showers and storms, and a low tonight in the low to mid 70s. But over the weekend, the rain probabilities are much higher as a front approaches, scattered to numerous showers and storms, locally heavy downpours. Be flexible with your plans. High temperatures both Saturday and Sunday in the lower 90s and lows at night in the lower 70s. Some of the storms could be on the strong side, and our weather app will keep you on top of the action. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
To Joey Clark. Joey Clark. It's Joey Clark.
Socialism in the Democratic Party.
Say it ain't so.
Yeah.
What are you referring to?
Well, a lot of folks are focusing on this lady with the last name of Hong.
Yeah.
Francesca Hong. Well, she is now probably going to be the next governor of Wisconsin after the other Dem dropped out. And she went from like a ridiculous, like she only had a 40% chance. Now it's a 90% chance, something like that. But before we go to Francesca Hong, who did a full interview with Dana Perino. And it's interesting how Fox is like, oh, let's highlight the socialists. And I went on a whole thing yesterday about be careful what you wish for. Because I remember when the Democrats were like, please make Trump your nominee, Republicans, thinking it was going to be a breeze for them.
There's our guy.
But here is Harry Ensign. He is our guy.
Marco
I like this
Rubio.
guy.
It's Marco Rubio's illegitimate love child. Even Shane agreed with me. He goes, my God, it is. I said, I know.
No, and for all the how crappy CNN and all these others are, like, I like the nerds. I like the data guys.
I love that guy.
So let's listen into Harry Enton.
I think there's this idea perhaps in Democratic circles, oh, they're coming in from the outside. No. The call is coming from inside the House. It's your own voters. I mean, just take a look here. Voters identifying as Democratic Socialists. When you look at self-identified Democrats, and we're talking about voters, we're talking about 41%. 41% of self-identified Democratic voters. It's not coming from outside the tent because just 20% of Dem-leaning independents actually identify as Democratic Socialists. These are Democratic voters. These are people who voted for Kamala Harris. These are people now where we're talking about a little bit more than 2 in 5 Democratic voters who identify as Democratic Socialists.
I'm not shocked by that.
Not at all.
Because let's just be honest. For all this talk of socialism's getting worse and the DEI and the woke and all the political correctness and all this stuff, the base, the heart and soul of what has been the progressive project since the turn of the 20th century has essentially been socialism.
Absolutely.
Like that's just read American history and read into the depths, especially, what was going on in the 30s in the Democratic Party, what the New Deal was all about. Now, they would constantly say, well, we're not going to be like the Bolsheviks, but they were kind of buddy-buddy with the Stalinist government. There were a lot of things like that. But so here's my point of view is I actually think that hardcore base, and just so people understand, when I say it's the base of that party or the engine of that party was the agenda of the Democratic Party it has been for a century, I don't mean the average person who voted Democrat. I really don't. I think actually the average person who voted Democrat for a long time might have been that hardworking union guy in Ohio or in the middle of the country.
Coal miner or something like that. Yeah.
And he just wanted his fair shake from the big corporations and, a stable job and be able to take care of his family and these sorts of things. So the problem is a lot of those people have left the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Like it really has become the so-called party of the coastal elite, of the globalist elite.
Of the globalist, yeah.
And that elite for over a century has been socialist. Like the amount of people, do you think how much American money, folks, do you suspect went to help the Bolsheviks? Not officially, not the American government necessarily, but how many elite American dollars went to help? Here, I'll pay for the bomb to kill the czar.
Yep.
It was a lot more than you think. Now, again, it's not your average person. It's not your average union worker, but the sort of folks that organize, that really believe. So when you see this, like what he just said, that the Democrats really call themselves Democratic Socialists, you're like, yeah, they've always been that way. They've just called themselves progressives, or they call themselves all sorts of other things.
In fact, I would argue that if you look at, let's using the case of the Bolsheviks and the Tsar Nicholas, we actually sent troops to fight in it was called the White War. There is what they called it. No, not being racist, it was called the White War. Right. And we had, along with many other nations, contingents of troops fighting to preserve. So it was but what you're getting at, and I think this is important, the core constituency out there have always had socialist leanings. I mean, it's just that the ones that remain are socialists, make no doubt about it. So,
yeah, and again, the folks that have been, singing for years, heaven ain't a lot like Dixie, I don't want to go. Those guys have been singing that song for a while and singing even older tunes.
Yeah.
They've known this for a long time. Like socialist hippies, pinko commies. Your uncle, especially from the South, has known this for a long time.
That's right.
But I think what you're finding is the mainstream, there's an alternative because they didn't have to present themselves as socialists. They could present themselves as just neutral, informed opinion.
Yeah. Intellectuals.
But, think about one of my, I hate to say favorite story. I would say it's one that is harrowing and is a lesson, is the whole story of, I believe, Walter Duranty.
Okay.
Who was the New York Times man in Moscow.
What year, roughly?
This would have been 20s into the 30s.
Okay. Okay.
It's when the Holodomor is going on.
Okay.
The systematic, purposeful starvation of the Ukrainian people, the kulaks.
That's right.
And Walter Duranty is the New York Times man in Moscow, and he is covering it up. Like covering it up in saying, like, you literally use the euphemism that the Russians are tightening their belts as millions are literally starving and harrowing things. And I believe it's a reporter by the name of Gareth Jones. He got big he did this crazy interview with Hitler and said Hitler is, y'all need to watch out. Like, he's not joking after interviewing him.
Yeah.
And so he goes to the Soviet Union thinking he's going to get some scoop. And then he gets kind of wind of, like, when he hangs out there with the reporters, I think there's a guy named Eugene Lyons who was among that set of reporters who recanted, and he wrote a book called The Red Decade, which is about how everybody was socialist. Everybody was a communist. Like, progressive was just we're all down with the cause. And, like, the Red Decade will, like, make you go, wow, this was happening in the 30s in American elite? Yes. And so Jones gets wind that there's something going on in Ukraine. And he sneaks over there, and he essentially
breaks the story.
I guess it was William Randolph Hearst that was willing to publish it and fund him. But Gareth Jones was killed by the Soviet Special Forces.
Sure.
He was buried. Like, Duranty and all the other folks that had the microphone said he was a kook and he's making all this crap up. And what you find is, like, okay, that's in our history. That's during the golden age of America, where America rose and won the World War and all this stuff.
Well, you know.
It's like socialism's been around for a long time. And so this new crop, it's like, maybe we're just seeing it earlier and we can deal with it accordingly.
Or maybe they're more vociferous and vocal about it than they would be in the past. And the thing that I think we need to mention too, and to your point, is that how did McCarthyism occur? Because it was a very real scare and threat of infiltration inside the government.
Yes.
Now, Walt Disney, he's liberal, but I don't know if he was a communist. But have you no sense of decency, sir?
Well, and there is a thing about America where, despite all and this is why I still have a lot of hope and faith in this nation, is there is an element where America is different than Europe, thank God. Where it really was, especially after the First World War, everybody's gone mad. Literally, like, you know, we've gotten all these new terms like PTSD and
been around forever.
TBI and all these other things, like we've documented and studied, like what the effects of war. Can you imagine the millions of men walking around in Europe?
They were messed up.
And so that's why in that theater, you're a fascist or you're a communist.
Communist. There's no in between. Yeah.
Whereas in America, we still had this kind of American common sense.
Yeah.
And we also had this thing called, like, American freedom and industry. And, like,
self-determination.
There's this element that, as much as the unions kind of flirt with socialism and the laborers flirt with socialism and the civil rights leaders flirt with socialism, and some are outright communist. And as much as, there's some American industrialists, like, you know, what, Charles Lindbergh. He was
a big fan of Hitler.
Yeah, the Luftwaffe is great.
He said to Hitler, we need to be on his side.
But when you read the histories of these folks, you realize, people, you can't turn them into these mustache twirling villains on the left or the right. They're just people. Yeah. And so I think there's something about the American center that, for all the ideological talk to get people riled up, that if we just get back to American common sense, and most importantly, I've been on this big kick. When I hear this term Christian nationalism, the left loves to use it to scare people. I think there are a lot of people who go, well, I'm a Christian, I'm a nationalist, so I guess that makes me one. I think Charlie Kirk himself said that. But the way I would put it is, in classic Trump vernacular, Christian nationalist. Right. Christian should be capitalized. And nationalism could be appropriate for the current political time. But my hope is, if you capitalize Christian, what you're going to find are a lot of people that don't fit neatly into ideological political boxes, and they realize, there's no replacing a personal relationship of love with God and your neighbor. And all the bureaucratic systems, the left definitely needs to learn this, all the bureaucratic systems you can spin up, and the right needs to learn for all the new technological advantages and advantages in war and stuff. You cannot bureaucratize or use the government to replace love for one's neighbor. And that is not something that can be done through a corporate media environment and through an AI environment. That's done by literally sitting down with your neighbor and getting to know them. And it doesn't mean you're always in their business, but when they need help, you help them.
Well, and too, Joey, you've heard this countless times from Christian leaders. You can't be a communist and be a Christian. You just can't. It's mutually opposed. The government is the God, and
it's the first thing I go after.
So when we look at these freaks that are now part of the mainstream quote Democratic Party, we have basically agnostic atheists. Man is your God, folks. So this is spiritual warfare, in addition to political.
I don't know. It's going to be an interesting time going forward as you see the socialists rise up. Anyway, Hampton Harris joining us after 2 o'clock, and I'm definitely going to ask him about the rise of the Democratic Socialists.
He has some opinions, I'm sure.
And I wonder if anybody's asked Shamari Figures about that, because I see Shamari Figures and I'm like, he doesn't seem like he's like, Mrs. Hong.
No. Mrs. Hong.
Like, he seems more like a black Democrat from the South.
Yeah.
And so there's a big civil rights legacy there, which again, a lot of socialist activity going on during the civil rights movement, but there's also a lot of people that weren't socialists involved with that too.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to see, because I really do believe, whether it's black Democrats or white Democrats, you hick libs, can't help myself. I think it's going to be somebody with a Southern tone of voice that will probably save the Democrats from their excesses.
Perhaps.
And might be able to sway the middle of the American population. And so it'd be interesting to see how Southern politicians, whether it's Shamari Figures or it's like a John Ossoff, how these types are dealing with this insurgency of socialism in the Democratic Party.
Not that Tellerico guy from
that guy.
He's a kook, man.
Oh my goodness.
Texas. And what's happened to Texas?
No, when he used the Annunciation of Gabriel to the Virgin Mary, like the very moment of conception, the very incarnation of our Lord, the very moment that makes the devil himself shudder, and he used that as an excuse for abortion. I'm like, heard a lot of arguments for abortion in my time. Maybe I used to even make some in a cowardly way. I've never heard anything like that.
No, that was pretty blasphemous, yeah.
Crazy. But anyway, don't get me going on that again.
Well, we got Hampton coming up, so let's focus on
and we got to talk to Michael Cohen here in a second.
Yes, we do got to get
We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Man, everything costs more these days. Yep. That's why we need people like Rhett Marcus. He cut $1.5 billion in taxes.
Wait, 1.5 billion? That's a big deal. Didn't President Trump and Senator Katie Britt endorse him?
Uh-huh, they sure did.
Sounds like Rhett's the right man for Alabama.
I'll be voting for him on August 11th.
Me too.
I'm Rhett Marcus, the Trump-endorsed candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Rhett for Alabama.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Maybe you're doing well in sales, but you're ready for something bigger. At Blue Water Broadcasting, you'll help local businesses grow with customized marketing campaigns that combine the reach of 7 radio stations with powerful digital solutions. We're looking for someone who enjoys meeting people, earning their trust, and delivering results. If you're driven, professional, and ready to build a career, not just another sales job, we should talk. Visit BlueWaterBroadcasting.com and send me your resume today. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Michael Cohen. Hey, Michael, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, life is good. Just flying through the show here on this fine Friday with Troy Carrico by my side.
Well, that's wonderful. It's probably a lot easier with only one person that you're having to deal with.
Yeah. Though I'm moving, I think, for a week or however long it'll last for me. I'm going to be moving to like flying solo. See if I can fly this plane solo for several days on end. Just a test.
Well, that's good. I think you can handle it.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's been a while. I don't know. I've been thinking about old times and how I used to do things.
Thank goodness. Now I got more time to bush hog. It's going to be great.
It needs the work done, man. Like we were talking about.
Well,
that
you know, there's something to be said for bush hogging. You know, you're out there, it's peaceful.
Yeah.
You can't take a phone call.
You're so right, Michael. That is what I like the most about getting out there in the back acreage is I'm out of touch. You know, that's okay. I'm good with that. So.
Yeah.
How's it going there at Cohen's today?
Man, it's going great. It's delivery crews humping it. We're getting TVs installed. We had a couple yesterday. I know that he had an appointment to do one today. He got that one done. So, you know, everybody seems to be rocking and rolling and trying to take care of all the customers. And it's been good. A lot of these new Sony TVs that have come in, people are real excited about. We've got the Samsung models that have come in. They've got excellent pictures. And what that also means is that we've got some of the last year models of Samsung that you can get a hell of a price on, especially in comparison to the new version. So you can save a bunch of money, get a great deal, and you still get a great television.
I'm coming to see you about that. I better get there soon because you don't have that many.
Yeah, I'm holding my breath, Troy.
Yep, I'm going to come see you.
Well, and these are the TVs like I bought from you new, which I was happy to buy it new. It was cool to get the top line there.
Right.
And to see, like, it's still, like, these years later, awesome TV.
That's great.
Really great TV. So to get it at that sort of discount is amazing.
Well, yeah, you always want to get the best that you can get so that you're happy with it much longer.
There you go.
And, the picture quality that the Samsungs and the Sonys have just do an incredible job. Samsung's figured out on a lot of their models how to have it where it doesn't have any glare. So certain customers, that's a big issue for. They're both embraced this RGB. They've got different ways of doing the mini RGB, but Sony on a couple of their models, they've also got no glare. So you get a lot of options, and they can be a lot of great solutions because every home needs something a little different. There's no one size kind of fits all.
So, folks, y'all check out Cohen's today and find that fit. You can always look at thinkcohens.com to shop online, but I really encourage you to stop by in person at 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. They're open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And find Michael and be sure to tell him you heard him here on the radio with Joey and Troy as Eddie was off doing what he's doing.
And God knows what that is. But anyway, y'all come see us. Let us help you make the right choice, and have a great weekend.
Appreciate you, Michael. Coming up after this top of the hour break, we have a candidate for Congress. He's looking to be the Republican nominee. There is a special election on August the 11th.
Yep.
We've had him on the show before. We're going to have him on again. Hampton Harris joining us right after this break.
From the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump says that his administration has done a lot to bring down the cost of drugs, prescription drugs for Americans. He says that's because they've negotiated most favored nation trade status with the drug companies, meaning that Americans get the drugs for the same lowest price that any other country could get them for. That's reversing how it used to be, in which Americans commonly paid the most. Former Deputy National Security Advisor to the President, K.T. McFarland, says one unseen weapon the U.S. has in its arsenal against Iran is the ability to damage its economy. She says that's happening because the U.S. continues to block off those Iranian ports. Meanwhile, a little bit of oil is trickling its way through the Strait of Hormuz under protection from U.S. vessels. Anthropic says its AI models hacked into 3 organizations during testing. That came just days after OpenAI said its AI models went rogue and hacked into another company. This is SRN News.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline, 800-305-6762. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-305-6762 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. That's 800-305-6762 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-305-6762.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Victoryland.
Win a BMW X7 or your share of $25,000 in free play during Victoryland Casino's BMW and $25,000 free play giveaway. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too.
On this last day of July, it should be a fairly routine summertime forecast for today with a high temperature in the middle 90s, triple digits on the heat index, scattered, random, mostly afternoon and evening showers and storms, and a low tonight in the low to mid 70s. But over the weekend, the rain probabilities are much higher as a front approaches, scattered to numerous showers and storms, locally heavy downpours. Be flexible with your plans. High temperatures both Saturday and Sunday in the lower 90s and lows at night in the lower 70s. Some of the storms could be on the strong side, and our weather app will keep you on top of the action. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Back to school shopping starts now, and ASC Credit Union has you covered. Our back to school loan helps you pay for supplies, laptops, clothes, and more. Stop by your local ASC branch or apply today at yourasccu.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
1819 News.
The state of Alabama has set a second execution date for a death row inmate who was able to get a legal injunction against the first plan to put him to death by way of nitrogen hypoxia. Jeffrey Lee is now set to be put to death by lethal injection this coming September. Lee's attorneys argued to a district judge and then on to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals that death by nitrogen hypoxia was cruel and unusual punishment and that he would prefer to be put to death by a firing squad instead. The state declared that it is not authorized to conduct this type of execution and took the whole case to the Alabama Supreme Court, which has since ruled that the state is authorized to put Lee to death by way of lethal injection. Lee has been convicted of murdering the owner of a pawn shop and that pawn shop employee in Orrville back in 1998. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Mark your calendar for November 6th. The Albert Patterson Gala returns to the Barber Motorsports Museum featuring United States Senator Tommy Tuberville. We've sold out 2 years running and tables are already filling for 2026. If you believe in a thriving Alabama built on truth, courage, and accountability, this is your night. Don't miss your chance. Visit 1819news.com/gala. That's 1819news.com/gala to get your table today.
A former massage therapist at a spa in Homewood has now had 2 civil lawsuits filed against him. Matthew Jones is already charged with assault and sexual assault of 2 women who were clients at that spa. The civil lawsuits were filed on behalf of the same victims and are against the Escape Day Spa ownership for continuing to employ Jones even though his massage therapy license had expired and the spa already knew that there were allegations against him. And a police officer in Midland City has been put on paid leave after he was charged with domestic violence. 34-year-old Stuart Anderson is accused of striking a woman and causing property damage that occurred last weekend. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. Here are several ways to attract more buyers to your home. First, price it right to sell, not to sit. An accurate market analysis will tell you what price it should be. Next, prepare the home to show and sell by deep cleaning by a professional cleaner, including carpet. Declutter all rooms, including closets. Evaluate flooring, replace if needed. Paint inside and out where needed. And make the kitchen and bath sparkle. How about the exterior? Are the colors faded on the shutters or fascia? Power washing them and all sidewalks and driveways and patios prior to listing the house. Remember, your price and curb appeal will create a showing appointment. Your condition of the house will make them stay and look longer and buy quicker. For all the steps you need to take to get your house ready for sale, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 334-221-2883 or 334-551-0225.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Trump on Iran talks, they break their word often. You don't say.
Sword, that's all they understand.
But enough of that nonsense.
Yeah.
Excuse me. We're not like we're in Top Gun here with that montage. We got to get to serious business. Yeah, that's fine. We have in studio with us, as promised, a candidate for Congress. He's looking to be the GOP nominee in this special election that's coming up August 11th. We have Hampton Harris here in the studio. Hampton, how are you, kind sir?
Doing fantastic. Thank you for having me today, Joey.
Yeah, thank you for being on. And first off, how's the campaign going?
It's going good. We have a lot of momentum. We've been moving forward, and we've got less than 2 weeks here. We had 1 week from Tuesday to Election Day.
That's
so
crazy.
we are absolutely hitting these final days hard, and it's been a lot of momentum moving forward.
And I assume you'll be going to the GOP dinner tonight?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun there. We'll be there tonight. We've been all over today, and we'll be finishing out the day at the GOP dinner, so we're excited about that.
Yeah, everybody congregates. I got an invite, but I'm
It's
y'all,
not
I love seeing y'all on like the show, but I've learned unless I gotta be there, I'm not going to all that stuff. But okay, as you're doing this campaign and we're getting down to the last stretch of this thing, what are the main things that are really getting people riled up out there, the issues people care about?
Oh, we've seen a lot of the issues, but right now, I mean, of course, we're across this district. We're extremely heavy in the military. So our veterans, I hear from them every single day. Every event I go to, I hear from the veterans and the needs they have, whether it's in the physical part of the VA or the mental health part of the VA. And so that's something that's really big. We need to make sure they have their voice. And that's like I've been saying all along is they signed a contract to protect us. And now we need to uphold our side of the contract, make sure we give them the benefits that they signed up for. So that's number one, what we hear across this district. But also the cost of living is constantly going up. And I'm 29 years old, starting a family, buying a house. It's expensive.
Yeah.
That's the American dream, buying a house, having children. And so trying to make sure that that's going to be affordable for myself and the next generation is something that's really important to a lot. And being young, I have a lot of young people come up to me that have even never voted before. They say, I have never been involved in the political process. And I love seeing someone that's my age getting out there, making a difference, showing us that you don't have to be 85 years old before you decide to think about running for something. You can actually be young, like our founders were, get out there and also be a conservative. You don't have to be part of the Democrat Socialist Party before you decide to run as a young person. So that's making sure we get that cost of living down, get the price of gas down, all of that's very important.
Let me, without going too much behind the curtain, do the kind of the political hardball stuff here. Like, say you get in, you win the nomination, and you're in what is going to be clearly the Democrats are not wanting to give up that seat that Congressman Figures currently holds. How's the fundraising going? And here's the doozy of the question. Do you think President Trump will endorse you if you win the nomination?
Oh, for sure. The president's he needs to hold the majority in the House. This is critical to him being able to complete his presidency. Otherwise, he's going to be fighting legal warfare and political battles the entire rest of his term and impeachments. And that's what I've been saying from the beginning. That's the whole reason I got in this race. No one else was willing to challenge Shamari Figures in this district. And I was not about to let him go 4 more years without a challenger, sink his teeth even further in as the incumbent. And so I jumped in the race because we cannot have President Trump without someone to help him in Congress to get all of his laws passed into permanent law. Like, I'm an attorney. I know that a lot of the laws up there that he's done so far are temporary. We need to get them through Congress, make sure they're permanent, or else our next president is going to just reverse it. And so if we lose the majority in the November election, then his presidency is going to be over, and a lot of this is going to be reversed. And so we need to get up there, and he's going to back whoever wins this. And the Republican Party has already agreed to back whoever gets in this. And I think when I get in there and we're moving forward, we expect to be in there. It is a lot of young people getting involved. It's great to see. So we're going to have a turnout like never before of young voters and older voters as well turning out in November to see me get in there as the youngest Republican representative currently serving.
But first, you need those veterans and those young voters and older folks. Like, you need people to show up on, is it August the 11th?
August the 11th. It's a week from Tuesday, so it's coming up really fast.
One of the things that I can speak to is that Veteran Nation, just the concept, the proof of concept the Admiral and I have envisioned is really a test bed for Young Hampton. And on top of it, I just want to share, I was at one of your events, and I say this, I rarely invoke this, but the Holy Spirit was upon that event when we gathered around, and just the Fraser Church was well represented, many other churches too. It was like a revival more than it was a fundraiser.
It was powerful. There was a lot of people there gathered for the same reason, and that reason is to make sure we, as Christians, make sure we represent Jesus in all we do, and in politics as well, to get up there, because if we don't do it, nobody else is going to do that for us in DC. So it was really powerful seeing that many people come together, and we have a lot of Christians backing us, which is super encouraging as we come together as a family here. We have the Christian Coalition endorsed us today. We've got Eagle Forum behind us. We got the National Women's Prayer and Voting Army behind us, and so it's really encouraging to make sure we get up there and give God the glory in all we do.
Amen.
Yeah, in the last 100 or so days, I've learned very important, like the amount of little old ladies praying that is saving this world.
That's right.
Is a very real force in this world, and you need those prayer warriors. But when you talk about in Christian, in everything we do in politics, obviously there's the risk of just putting a Christian, jersey on and then doing Republican stuff. But then I think there are certain issues that really distinguish between Team Republican and Team Democrat on the Christian issue. For instance, I'm looking at people are playing up a lot of Pete Buttigieg stuff, saying men are more free when women have access to abortions. And when you realize, oh yeah, that's that party. And that Shamari Figures can say what he likes, Congressman Figures can say what he likes, but that's his team. And that seems like something that, would tear at the heart of Christ and tear at his perfect love.
Yeah, it is. We have to be, as Christians, we have to make sure that we're looking out for life, and life begins at conception. And we need to be protecting the children as after they're born, as well as in their mother's womb. That's something that is extremely important. Life is sacred and something that God creates, and it happens at conception, and we need to make sure that we protect that. And that's one of the reasons I got in this race was the Democrat opposition here voted for a bill that after a failed abortion attempt was going to protect children after a failed abortion attempt. He voted against that bill, and that's something that's just absolutely shocking, and it's against every moral fiber in my body. And so we need to make sure we look out for our children, both unborn and born, and make sure we stand up for Jesus and everything. And that's an issue that we've seen really across the nation, and it's making a revival now. But people leaving the Bible on the pew on Sunday and not carrying it through the rest of their life, and it's not something that you leave in there. It affects us in our politics. It affects us in our work, in our home. Everything we do is because of who we are, and that's what makes this nation such a great nation.
Well, in one angle, and this is where I think I'll just say it. I think there are some Democrats whose hearts are in the right place. I don't think their government sort of run solutions are the way to go. But I look at this district and I look at rural healthcare in Alabama, and it used to be, the hospitals were all religiously run and started. And so, as I'm sure people have brought up this issue with you on the trail of like, what are we doing in terms of rural healthcare? It seems like more rural hospitals are shutting down. And then you look at the issues here just in Montgomery with Jackson Hospital. Right. This is a crucial problem there.
It is. We're seeing them all across the district as well as across the state. I believe the latest one was in Geneva County, Escambia County had a rural hospital close. And it's something we need to be looking at. And we can't be losing our rural hospitals. We need those there. We need the hospitals here in Montgomery. We need Jackson. We need to make sure. And a lot of it has to do with our health care. It is not doing what it needs to do. And we need to get in there and help bring that back to make it affordable for everybody, as well as get the doctors paid out. And the healthcare insurer, as the middleman, is keeping a lot of that, and it's hurting our hospitals, and it's hurting the policyholder. And so we need to make sure to get that out of there and repeal the quote unquote Affordable Care Act, Obamacare there, because that is crippling us, and it's really hurting all of our medical providers across this district and really across the U.S.
So you think like it's that third party payer system where it's because the insurance company is that big middleman, it's driving up just costs across the board. And in particular, say your hospital, it's on the supply side, just your cost of inputs is just astounding. And you can't.
That's right. And we really have no competition out there hardly. I mean, it's almost a monopoly in Alabama of Blue Cross Blue Shield right now. And we need more competition. And I think if you bring in an open market, I'm an economics major. When you bring competition in, you get better products, better services at better prices. And so that's something that we need to bring in here, and it will help us across the board.
One of the things is, and I'm very good friends with Dr. Pat Ryan, and he opines that the Affordable Care Act really screwed the pooch. And what's happened now is these big third-party insurance providers are playing doctor. They're telling doctors what they can and can't do. And it's amazing to hear a surgeon say, I have to fight an uphill battle, Joey, all the time just to get the care that I need for the patients. And it's bizarre.
That's right. And we've seen recently our legislature, and actually one of my opponents voted for this, is it allows Blue Cross Blue Shield to invest some of the reserve money into private investments. And if they lose money there, they're going to have to regain that money somewhere else and to hold a certain amount of reserves. And ultimately, that's going to hit the policyholder's pocketbook. And so our insurance prices are going to continue going up that way as well. So it's things like that we need to be really looking out for, making sure we're protecting everybody.
Now, what other, say, distinctions might you make between yourself and your opponents? Like, what are the differences? Some daylight here.
Well, first of all, where I always go here is I was the only one to be in this race in the beginning. I jumped in when it was drawn to be a Democrat district, and it was uphill battle. Was told by a lot of people you can't win, and we jumped in because it was the right thing to do. I wasn't doing it for a title or a promotion or anything like that. I was doing it because it was the right thing to do, and we got in there at, I believe it was. There's the things differ, but people were saying about D+8. They're saying now it's R+14 in this district. And so people have jumped in out of the woodwork because it got easier. And so I think that's something that shows where my heart's at and why I'm doing things is because I got what I got in here for. I also have active duty military spouse. My wife is a JAG attorney over at Maxwell. And so it's something that we need to make sure that we're looking up for our military. And with that anything that affects the military affects me directly. And so we need to make sure to be looking out. And I'd actually be the only active duty spouse congressman, I believe, in history, if I look correctly.
That's great. That's great.
It's crazy, but our district is such heavy military. We got Fort Rucker and Danley over here at 187th, Maxwell, Gunner Annex. So we need to be looking out. And it seems like every time the Democrats get in charge, they want to move Gunner or Maxwell out of the district and out of the state.
And you know, I'm hearing from some sitting congressmen that this district will be an Armed Forces Committee assignment, and that's critical to whoever represents us.
100%. And we have two great senators, or one senator, another senator here to come very soon down looking out for Rucker, and we need to make sure we have somebody up here in Maxwell looking out that we don't lose that here in the River Region, because that could cripple the River Region economy. It's our biggest job producer.
Have you had a chance to meet the two, Katie and Barry?
I have. I've met both of them before, and I've met Barry on many occasions, and so I've met both of them, and they're great representatives as well.
Is there somebody up there that you're looking at Congress and you're like, I want to work with that guy or gal? Like,
well, I do. There's a lot of people, and actually, one of them's coming to the event tonight here. I think I really like Representative Brandon Gill. Yeah. I think he's doing a lot of good stuff, and I would be taking his title for youngest Republican currently sitting if I win. So that's a lot of fun. But there's some other great ones up there as well. I think Representative Moore, soon to be Senator Moore, has represented us very well, as well as Jim Jordan has been doing well. So I like everybody on the Freedom Caucus, and particularly Andy Harris, just because it's my grandfather's name as well. So
there you go. There you go. And you mentioned your wife being serving in the military, but let's expand on more just your bio for a second for folks who haven't heard it. So you're married, you got kids?
No kids yet, but we got married 3 years ago and met in law school up in Birmingham and moved back down to Lounsboro and have a house there built in the early 1800s. And so we love it out there. And I opened up a real estate brokerage, and she's over at Maxwell. And so we've been doing all that here. I grew up in a big family. I had four sisters and 2 brothers, and so we really love that as well.
What do the siblings think of this?
Oh, they love it. They're all in. It's been a lot of fun. They've been behind me 100% of the way, along with my wife, and we've been moving full steam, and they've been on the road with me and putting out signs, volunteering, knocking doors, everything they can do to make sure we win this thing, because we all come together as a family. And even a lot of people that have been helping my campaign that are not blood family, that they're like family now, because they've really jumped in. It's been a great, all my church members and family there. It's been really great.
Well, it's funny because I say your family, Brian Dawson's family, and my sister-in-law, Vicky, if you're listening up in Ohio, homeschooled all their kids, 7 of them. You give me hope for the Republic. You give me hope for the Republic. Your family does.
I appreciate that.
And also for folks, again, who haven't heard it, you're in terms of your education and your, like in your work experience, your career, like what's say your expertise?
Yeah. So I grew up in Montgomery, and while I was in, just after college, I worked in the emergency room. So I got to see a lot of firsthand in what comes into our hospitals, what's going on in our hospitals, and how we may be able to fix those. And then I got my real estate license to pay my way through law school, went up to law school and got that up there, and then opened up my brokerage and have some people, some veterans working for me now that are helping me sell real estate for my company and all that. And I've been operating that over 4 states. We're licensed in 4 states. And then I do a lot of law on the side. So it's something that I think will help both the legal side, because I know how laws are written, I know how they're read. And so being an attorney, I think, really helps, but also being in real estate, especially commercial real estate, which I do a lot in. We've worked in deals $5, $6, $7 million. Tensions are super high on both sides. Sure. And so helping them as a mediator come to an agreement when both of them one wants a really good price, one wants the most money, and helping them come to an agreement that way, I think is going to really help getting up there and being able to help different representatives come to an agreement, because a lot of times we may want different things, but we all have the same thing in mind, and that's to make America better.
No, I like that. That's one thing, even after interviews, several times I hadn't thought about that angle. That you really have sat between, say, some big dogs, some alpha dogs that are ready to butt heads, and they want the best part of the deal that's multi-millions of dollars at stake, and you're in the middle there, and you get a lot of this resolved with them.
That's right. And so I think that'll really help. And I think across this district, something that we've really seen as well is there's so many people that are really excited about this campaign because they're excited to have a voice, somebody they can contact, somebody, because I want to be a representative that people can reach out to, can contact, and that's who the representative is. And while we have some really great endorsements right now, the best endorsement we can have is going to be the votes of the constituents, because the votes of this people in this district are who I'm going to be representing, and that's who I want to be held up to a higher standard for. And so that's who I want to be able to reach out to me and contact me. And people have really loved that because you don't see that a lot in politics anymore.
You know, Admiral Davis said it best. He said, I'm mowing my grass and up walks Hampton, knocking on doors over in Wind Lake. So there's something to be said about that. Yeah. Grassroots. Yeah.
Now, if folks are listening and they want to help you out in this last stretch of the campaign, how can they do so?
Yeah. So everything helps. We're finishing off really strong. And so you can go to HamptonHarrisForAlabama.com. We got a website there. You can donate. You can email us or go on our Facebook and share. It makes a big difference. And every donation makes a massive difference. Or just get out. Tell your friends and family. Tell your churches to get out and vote on August 11th. Make sure you make plans and make plans to take 5 people with you. Go vote a week from Tuesday. Every vote's going to matter because turnout's going to be low. Your vote's going to be worth a lot. So get out there, make your voice heard.
Well, I appreciate the time, Hampton.
Yes, sir. Thank you for letting me have.
Good seeing you.
I appreciate it.
We'll be right back after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
This is your roving reporter. Today I'm talking with a prospector.
That's right, man. I'm prospecting for gold. You dig?
No, but it looks like you do.
And you know the first thing I'm going to do when I strike it rich?
What's that?
I'm going to hire David Ernest to be my money man.
You mean everyone's favorite asset preservationist?
That is correct, man. I'm going to call him up at 833-596-7233. 833-596-SAFE.
You know, I've heard a lot of good things about David Ernest.
You know, he's the best money man around with over 40 years of experience.
Experience is necessary, especially when you're digging for gold.
That's right, man.
And I can see that you don't have very much experience.
What do you mean, man?
Well, you have the little plastic bucket and shovel like a kid would take to the beach.
Yeah, man. Well, I want to start out small and kind of pace myself up until I strike it rich.
Well, maybe you should call David Ernest first.
You think he's got a shovel?
Never know till you ask.
I dig, man.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
WAKA Blue Water Broadcasting, Ty and Doll Incorporated, and Piggly Wiggly Food for Less invite you to help us stuff the truck on Saturday, August 22nd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Sturbridge Piggly Wiggly Food for Less. Donate non-perishable food, classroom supplies, or cash to help local students facing food insecurity and support our teachers. Visit WAKA.com for a shopping list and stop by our community resource fair for valuable services and information for River Region families. Together, we can stuff the truck and strengthen our community.
Don't you love the feeling of coming home to a clean house? Let Southern Bell's cleaning service get your home in order. Families in the River region trust Southern Bell's because they know Callan and Jesse will show up on time and believe in cleaning the old-fashioned way. They bring all their own supplies and specialize in full-service, residential, commercial, vacant properties, and construction cleanup. Estimates are always free. Call Southern Bells today at 546-0715 or follow them on Facebook at Southern Bells Cleaning River Region.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, where right now, get a load of this, listen close, you get a house full of carpet for $19.95 installed. Unbelievable. They're located at 6450 Atlanta Highway, just across from Walmart.
On this last day of July, it should be a fairly routine summertime forecast for today with a high temperature in the middle 90s, triple digits on the heat index, scattered, random, mostly afternoon and evening showers and storms, and a low tonight in the low to mid 70s. But over the weekend, the rain probabilities are much higher as a front approaches, scattered to numerous showers and storms, locally heavy downpours. Be flexible with your plans. High temperatures both Saturday and Sunday in the lower 90s and lows at night in the lower 70s. Some of the storms could be on the strong side, and our weather app will keep you on top of the action. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
The River Region's News Talk station. News Talk 93.1. WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. This part of the program, cut the music off, hippie. This part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage, and they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. They're ready to help you with buying a place or refinancing that current home. And it could be you're a veteran. We were just talking about veterans, and you haven't taken advantage of the VA mortgage program. Now, a lot of folks have worries, and rightfully so, about the medical VA system.
Not so with the loans.
Not with the VA mortgage. It's the best deal in town. Like what, 100% cash out refinancing?
Yeah, absolutely.
No money down.
I know, it's
purchases.
crazy.
Pretty incredible. And even if you're not a veteran, they can get you in the right position, get you the right deal there at Alabama Home Mortgage. It all starts with pre-approval if you're looking to buy. and they can walk with you every step of the way, all the way to closing day. Or if you are looking to refinance to get credit card debt off your back, or reinvest in the property, or go on that dream vacation, or could be you just want some more walking around money. You don't have a particular reason.
Maybe you want to get into crypto again.
or Bitcoin maxi now.
Yeah. You still accumulating?
It's up to you. It's your money you built up in your home, your equity. They can help you there at Alabama Home Mortgage. Deploy it as you see fit. So check them out today. That's Alabama Home Mortgage at 567-4223, 567-4223, or visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368. Equal housing lender. We have Duke on the phone. How you doing, Duke?
How you doing?
I'm all right.
my voice a little bit under the weather a little bit, so y'all got to bear with me a little bit now today.
Okay.
Now this last interview you just had on the air on your show, the guest you had on, it kind of got me upset a little bit.
Why?
So I had to call in. Bad talking in it all today. I heard this guy talking about health care, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He had an idea. I mean, what we need to do this, we need to do that. That's only a damn idea. What's your plan? I didn't hear a plan, Joey. He didn't say what I'm gonna do to fix this or that. Then he go to Obamacare, which, back in December they tried to get that thing passed, so, the subsidies to continue and all that, and hey, we pay a high premium nowadays, my wife and I. Mm-hmm. So I didn't hear a damn plan. These politicians, these people come on the airways on here like they, need this job desperately to add the damn new room on the new house they built and everything, and you need some extra money coming in, but you don't have a damn plan on how you're going to do a damn thing, people. Talking about, we're going to help the president do this. We're going to help the president do that. What's your plan?
Well, honestly, you don't know what the plan is until you get the 100 people together.
Plan on what the hell they going to do.
So you just want somebody to blow smoke up your ass. That's what you want.
Do me something. Do me like the rest of them.
I'll do that for you.
No, I thought the general principle he's laid out are pretty sound, but it sounds like, come on, man.
Trump tell him, Trump tell you what he's going to do. He's going to do this and that and this and that and blah, 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 blah. You see what got done. Nothing.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. But, these people coming on here, they can't talk about my boy Figures now. Figures getting stuff done, isn't he? Huh? Talk to me.
Is he?
Huh?
What's he getting?
What's he done lately?
He's striving to get things done.
Right.
I don't know if he can get it on the other side, but this guy out there talking about the health care in the rural areas and the hospital, trying to say the hospitals and other little things I hear on the little bits and pieces on the news.
Mm-hmm.
But these guys come on here, they kill me with this joke. Talking about the Democrats this, Democrats that. I want to hear what you gonna do, mister.
I heard Christianity is going to be his guide on, and I think that's refreshing.
I know everybody. I always told you guys, relationship with God is personal. Don't come on here telling folks out there, that they should, serve whomever they want to serve.
Yeah.
But I want to hear what you're going to do for the citizens for the state of Alabama, the Montgomery area that you're trying to get my boy up out of. What you going to do when you get in there to replace him?
Yeah, but wouldn't somebody's personal relationship to God really affect their relationship to their fellow man?
Absolutely.
I've been going to church all my life, and I watched the deacon and the preacher wink the eyes at one another through the whole sermon sometimes, and stuff like that. So just because you go to church don't mean you're gonna do the right thing.
I agree with you there. There are plenty of sinners and hypocrites at church.
There's so many politicians up there right now that claim they love God, but
though there's a great Oscar Wilde line, Troy, that the Catholic Church is for sinners or saints,
yes.
But for reasonable people, there's always Anglican.
That's right. There's Anglican Church. Yeah.
But Joey and Troy, isn't Montgomery eating up with churches on every corner down here?
Yes, it's a huge problem.
Yes.
Well, you have 400 to 500 churches, and a lot of them, there ain't a lot of the actual word.
How many of these people, or how many of these same people whoop and holler and say, yeah, right on, brother, with Trump? When that guy died back here, Trump said glad he was dead and cusses on TV and, all the stuff Trump does, and all these so-called Christians follow this man up.
Well,
But
no, the
they
number, I
they
covered it
still
this
love
week. The numbers dropped, Duke, a great deal. And it's a shame.
34%. Oh, 34%.
Only 34% go to church every
crazy.
week. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts.
I'm talking about Trump now, approval rating. I'm talking about Trump approval rating.
Oh, well, there you go. But I
I
don't
didn't mean
know.
to bring up Trump. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring up Trump today. But this individual that called in, I'm gonna make a choice. You kind of got me warmed up now because you didn't say nothing, brother man. I mean, everybody got a damn idea. I got an idea that everybody that's on this radio right now deserve $1 million. But hey, you got to figure out a way. I plan on how to get it.
Well, what's your plan then?
On that Scooby-Doo.
So you don't think the underlying third party sort of payer dynamic of the big insurance middleman is part of what's driving up costs for hospitals and doctors?
I'm talking over you. I'm sorry. Start over, sir.
It is not the third party payer system where the government and the private health insurers are the big fat middleman. Does that not drive up costs for hospitals, doctors, as well as patients?
I don't know. I mean, I've heard so many different lines. Just close my eyes and pick one, you know.
It's like clubbing baby fur seals. It's like clubbing baby fur seals.
Well, Duke, here's the thing. Like, there's a bunch of candidates in this. There's a bunch of candidates in this race, and like after Rhett Marcus was on here and David Matthews were on here, I want you to call if you're going to call up and grill these folks, which is you have every right to do. You got to do it with everyone I bring on.
I will, but you know,
I can't just have one of them have to deal with Duke. They all got to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yes, you know, we letting these people get in the house, man, in the White House and the State House and all that. They're not doing a damn thing, Joe, but collecting the paycheck and talking about, I'm gonna help Donald Trump. I'm gonna help Donald Trump. Hell.
Do you know what I tell people when I talk about Duke? I said he's part of that family that owns the mayonnaise.
Duke's
mayonnaise? He's part of that.
Not bad mayonnaise.
He's part of the trust fund of that.
Yeah.
You ain't got to work anymore. Do you know that? You got all that money coming from the Duke Mayonnaise Company. Oh.
Yeah, I need some of that money, but I need to run down my folks, see if it's in my bloodline some kind of way here. And my DNA thing.
You know. Funny.
I need some money. I need some of that money, though, man. Yeah, I want to see how it feels to be rich, and I want to bleach my skin like Michael Jackson. See how it feels
bleach your skin like Michael Jackson. All right, dude. I'm going to find a fund for you. I got to see that.
Anyway, I appreciate the call.
All right, buddy.
Later, dude.
Bleach your skin like Michael Jackson.
Oh, goodness gracious. Now, something like the healthcare issue, like there's ways to paper over it, but let's just be honest. It is a very intricate, complex policy question.
It is.
And there are different, say, principles that might guide you in one direction or the other, and those principles are more or less represented by Republicans or Democrats, and pick your principles that will guide you as you craft a very complex plan and a problem that has been messing with us for decades now.
And there's $1 billion lobby behind some of those interested parties.
Right.
Makes it hard.
Anyway, let's go to line 2. You're on there. Who's this?
I don't want to be on the air. I just want to ask you the young man's name that's running for Senate.
He's running for Congress. Hampton Harris.
Congress. Well, I'm in my car and I stopped because okay, what's his name?
Hampton Harris.
And I love you. Okay, thank you so much, guys.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you for listening.
Well, you're on air, but thank you for asking that question. Hampton Harris.
That's very nice.
Yeah, I like Hampton.
Hampton's very likable. He's like I said, his family. You've heard me opine about it. I just what happened that night with Dick Brubaker there, and a lot of the Libertarian and the Federalist Society was there. There's a lot of good people there. A lot of good people, and the spirit was there.
I mean, I want to like everybody, but like it's like it's not even personal. Like, I'm sure I could sit down to dinner with Shamari Figures and
I think I could too.
we could argue about stuff, or we probably get along about stuff.
Probably,
Like, anybody. But then you get down to it, like what the team represents.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I don't know if that's the right direction.
You know, and I think the hard thing is this, Joey. Everybody has good intentions, and I'm not saying this about Hampton or Shamari. Once they get to D.C., they realize a couple things. If you don't do certain things, if you don't play reindeer games, you don't get the reindeer prizes, and that's part of it. The funding, it sucks. But
I mean, unless you want to go the route of Matt Gaetz,
you can always do that
and be a Batman villain. I'm gonna get you, Cape Crusader. Like that's Matt Gaetz. That was his whole time in Congress.
Yeah, he wasn't he?
I mean, he's a shiny bastard, but he was our shiny bastard.
What's wrong with doing ecstasy with underage girls? I mean, I don't quite understand
That
what could
was
possibly
not
go wrong.
substantiated. That was a scurrilous accusation.
Oh, was it? Was it? What about the tax collector that?
Now, if he was a
provided-
Democrat, of course it's true. Or you could go the route of, she seems to be doing quite well, Marjorie Taylor Greene. You could go up there with a certain husband and then be, kicked off any committee assignments, and you independently fundraise, and you got Trump's back, and then Trump starts calling you Marjorie Taylor Brown. Because when green goes bad, it turns to brown.
I love it.
And now you divorce your hubby, and you got hitched. That was in the news this week. She just got married to a new fellow.
Do you remember when Trump said, "I'm going to make Matt Gaetz the Attorney General nominee"?
Or I wish that had happened. It would have been better than Pam Bondi.
My goodness. Yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to think of folks that have kind of an independent streak. I like Burchett.
Yeah.
Out of Tennessee. I like that guy a lot. I do like Anna Paulina Luna. I think she's started to sound light. Like all the promises of the UFO disclosure and stuff. It's like, you don't know the stuff you say publicly, I could say.
I know. That is part of the, there is a healthy group of doubters and cynics against like Lou. He can only do so much based on what he had. And you got to be careful. Some of it's very classified. So
right. Well, and that's the thing. They criticize somebody like Lou, and then when they go on Rogan, they have nothing to say.
Nothing
either.
new to add. Nothing.
In fact, Lou beat you to the punch and said much more than.
And that's why they get upset, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like folks that have a truly independent streak up. For a long while, Ron Paul played the game quite well in the sense that he principally voted no against everything.
Yeah.
But if you are going to pass it, let's get the earmarks in there. And people would point that as hypocrisy. I'm like, that's not hypocrisy. That's just smart. Like, I don't want any of this money, and we are spending too much damn money. Yeah. But if you are going to spend it, I'm going to get back for my constituents. It seems like a pretty great approach.
Yes.
I wish more people had been that way. Voting no on the overall bill, but if you are going to pass this monstrosity, at least give me my cut to make my folks whole. Like, so he played that game quite well.
Of course. I think at the end of the day, you got to bring something back to your district.
And I think we got a few folks up there like that, where they're generally down with, like, really bring down the debt and deficits and all this stuff. But they also, to your point, will play the reindeer games.
I don't think you can achieve the front end of that goal of bringing down the deficit and reducing government unless you do go that route of playing those games. The problem is when anything goes, everything goes. And once you buy into that, I think it's hard to get off that crack.
You said crack. Let's go to line one. You're on the air. Who's this?
Sandy?
Hey, Sandy. How are you?
Oh, good. Did you want to know? I have been out of town in Atlanta with Deborah, and what's the newest on Jackson Hospital? Do we know?
Nothing clear. I think they were kind of bluffing, though, about it's about to all fall apart. I think there's been new negotiations behind the scenes.
Oh, my word.
So they haven't collapsed yet. And honestly, I think we should call their bluff and be like, no, y'all need to figure it out with the private investors and the state and the county and the city will help a little bit, but y'all need to stop crying wolf.
City, well, sounds right. But the city needs to step in and not spend money on Ferris wheels and crap like that. We need that. We need that hospital.
We do.
It's my hospital.
That's your hospital.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sandy. Anyway, we got to hit this break. We'll be right back after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Vaughan Road. You know, with over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center in the Pepper Tree Shopping Center. We've used Blue Water Broadcasting for years, and we attribute our results to what they do for us. If you want results with your advertising, call Blue Water.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. So you were mentioning this new robot. It's from a U.S. company called Satyrus. Satyrus. It's developing three halves, a Centaur-style robot designed for dangerous environments such as wildfires, rubble searches, toxic areas, etc. And it looks like a Centaur with like a, it looks like a demon, honestly.
Really? I think it's like a robotic Centaur to me, but, you know.
I don't know. Well, I wasn't the only one because there is at the Happy Priest, Father Cassidy Stinson. He only has like 20,000 followers. He said, look, I'm not the kind of priest to say things like they're putting demons in the robots, but the chainsaw wielding black drones with eyeball horns are making it harder to argue my case. Yeah, because that looks crazy. Yeah. Like you could have made an emergency robot that doesn't look like something
kind of like a pig head, doesn't he? He's kind of got like a pig head, yeah.
Anyway, let's go to Ray Bowles, Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
I'm tired. This school's killing me. Hey, I'm thinking about opening, what do you call it, like a CrossFit gym.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, today, literally picked up 155-gallon buckets of epoxy at 75 pounds each and carried them down 14 flights of stairs.
Woo!
So if I opened up a gym, quote, one of these, you know, they yell at you and scream at you, make you do stupid stuff.
Yeah,
they can in the school with a whistle and make people run up and down stairs with buckets of epoxy. Yeah. How smart would that be?
I think you've got a good deal going on there.
Well, maybe you need him to run up to one end and keep where it needs to be rather than bring it back down if you want to help him with your work. You know.
Yeah. Well, I don't have to go to leg workout.
That's where you go.
I'm good.
There you go.
Hey, what are y'all doing this weekend?
Not much. You're going to the GOP dinner tonight.
I'm going to GOP dinner, and then I've got to change the seal. I've got to go get a seal for my bottom of my bush hog. I broke off the gearbox with my friend, and it's a lot of work.
And instead of going to the GOP dinner, I decided to stay home and wash my hair.
And you're going to watch a movie.
Bill Harris. Y'all know Bill Harris, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so he's my daughter is married to his son.
Oh.
And every time when these stupid dinners comes up, he calls me, hey, don't you want to go? And I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
No, the last thing I want to do is go do that. Thank you, Bill. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I got invited to be somebody's date, and I was like, I'll go do anything else with you, but I'm not doing that on a Friday night.
Mm-mm. No, y'all have fun with that one. I'm going to go home early and crash. I bet I'll be able to sleep by it. Tonight, it's a Friday night. I'm going to try to stay up till 8 o'clock.
Hey, so you know, I told my wife this is going to be a 2-flask night, I'm thinking.
Yes, definitely. Absolutely. 100%. All right, well, y'all have fun at that. If anybody out there needs a floor, any kind of stuff dealing with flooring, whatever it may be, call us 285-8117.
Again, that's 285-8117. And be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles on the radio with Joey and Troy.
All right, guys. Y'all have a great day.
Have a good one, brother.
So, did we learn anything today?
Let's see. I learned that I don't have to be here on Monday, which is nice. I look forward to seeing how your experiment goes. I think I think it's going to be neat. So
Yeah, I need to. I don't know. I was thinking about like old times, like when I first started, and it's like I need to recapture that energy, that lightning in a bottle. And I think the only way I can do it with all these other changes going on with me is the sink or swim approach, so to speak.
these other changes going on with me, this metamorphosis a la Franz Kafka.
Yeah, well, not. Well, I hope it's not
reverse
like
of that. It's reverse of that. You're becoming a butterfly now.
Yeah, I hope it's not like Kafka. You wake up one morning and you're a freaking
It's a great
beetle,
story,
and your
though.
family tries to kill you and
I
stuff.
remember reading that. I thought it was so so
Crazy.
terrible.
No, Kafka, I relate to him way too much. But no, it's just like I don't know. Lately, I've been going down the rabbit hole of memories with the radio. It's like try some things that I maybe used to.
I think you need to tap into your inner muse.
Muse?
Yeah, muse.
Inner muse.
I think there's one.
Need to
inside
find
you.
an outer muse.
I know. Well, those will let you down. The inner one will never let you down.
We learned that it's crazy to see a bunch of people cross a border all at once.
Yeah. Someone did a split screen of the border at the United States border crossing back in, like, I don't know what it was, 2014. And there just like a mad rush of people over the wire. Same thing.
Also learning the Google search is declining like crazy.
Yeah.
Like they're not pointing people towards websites anymore. So it's all going to AI. As another AI agent, this time Anthropic's Claude, got out of its sandbox and started hacking. And they didn't know about this for months.
And neither did the company that was getting hacked.
Yeah, they just looked into it after OpenAI had their own confession about their bot getting on the loose. So, that's great. We learned that.
Hampton Harris was,
One bad
we got an endorsement today from the Christian Coalition.
That's pretty
so
cool.
that we learned that.
And let's see who's on line one. Say goodbye. Hello.
First time I ever heard of Muse, it was because you played it on your show.
Oh, the
And then
band
you-
Muse, yeah.
I sent you something about your Muse, so that's 3 times. That means something. I'll be listening on Monday.
See you, Crawdad. Yeah, on that note, I think I'm going to get out of here.
Let us.
Y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Greg and Terry and whoever else here. They're next.
From the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center.